No party ticket, he said, what is your role?
No, I mean, you what? Executive committee member, you political leader, you who? Who are you in the party?
That question, I think the rightful person to answer that the chairman of the party. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm one of the senior members of the party, and most especially the first and only senator.
You are the first and only senator of MDR in the country now.
Yeah.
Please bring the microphone.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so you hold all of your allegiance to MDR, but in terms of position, what do you want us to, as a chairman, you could just say, I'm this in the party.
When you see one person, I think you play some pivotal role. That has to do with executive member of the party and etc.
Do you go to the meetings?
If I'm invited, the party, before you have a meeting, there must be an invitation extended.
But you are a senior member. You don't necessarily need to invite. It is just to put it in a group chat. So today we have a meeting.
Yeah, well, specifically, of course, yes, but it also necessary because we have the NEMA Legislative Caucus, MDR Legislative Caucus. So a member and also legislator or thought of the party who must be, duly recognized if there is any issues to be discussed. Besides that, the other executive member could carry out because we have a lot of fiduciary responsibility at the legislature as well.
Have you been to any meeting recently of MDR?
Julius, is this one of the issues that we're invited for? Then we can discuss it.
No, because we're in the MDR hat, so we are trying to set the basis.
NDR is like a brand name of NIBA in Liberia. As you may recall, 2 times NDR contested for presidency. They took the 3rd place, and the other one, they took the 4th place. And the founder of the party, prior to his demise, he called me to his office and blessed me. Before going to the senatorial election, the 2024 election, if you listen to the recording and listen religiously, you will understand that he gave him the blessing before the demise. And predicated upon this, the NEMA people realized that the fact that the man we refer to as a godfather left alive and blessed the gentleman, unfortunately, upon his demise, we cannot put no other person in that position, though it's an elected post. So we will carry him and then bestow the traditional title on him. Fortunately, however, I won the election. So predicated upon this, we always want to identify ourselves with a symbol of the party anywhere we go. So MDR, whether I become floor member, no matter how's the situation, I'm a full-fledged member. And I know one day I'll rise up in the party to be a leader of that party. I'm very much optimistic.
Are you not seeing in the party as a leader?
I'm a leader, but when I'm talking about leadership, there are elected posts. You got the political leader, you have the party chairman, you got the governing council, and all the positions are positions of trust. And we may contest whenever primary or convention come about. And I'm very much optimistic that one of these days, no matter the situation, how long it takes, we're going to be a leader of that party. The whole of elected posts.
One of the key things that you just mentioned was the issue of Godfather. It has, over the course of last week, a couple of weeks, there has been quite an issue with different people with different views. Does NIMBA have the Godfather?
Well, this was a symbolic title refer or confer on Senator Johnson. So, in our culture, so when the title is bestowed on an individual personality and the personality dies, and the people repose confidence whosoever succeeding him, symbolically he got to be referred to as that. but God doesn't have father. And interestingly, I want you to go and research on your Facebook or other Facebook posts or other media outlets. Since that old man made that declaration, I challenge anybody. No other in Nima ever report that. I challenge it.
Which declaration?
To say, Koga, you are the godfather we look up to replace Senator Johnson. You are. So we eyes that you always.
Who the old man said?
The man who said it is a parliament chief, and he is the oldest since 1980 election. He is the only person that serving now as a parliament chief. All the others were appointed. And besides that, he spoke from the cultural background. Not just something he just got up. People are permeating with negativities that Koga went and bribed the old man with $400. Do I know that somebody that can buy popularity? People who know me in Liberia, do I know that somebody that buys sentiment? I am not. I don't believe in that. Let me tell you something. Anybody, a politician who provide fundings for other people to gain popularity is a myth. That relationship can last. Once the money finish, it finish. So I don't believe in it. If you ask a journalist at the Capitol building, when I was representing serious awards, and some other awards came, I rejected it. I said, no. I don't want to be pacified with something I don't endeavor. And the first one has said, oh, of course, yes, that's my position. So I'm saying it to say that some people will, convince crowd. I was not even expecting that the identical statement or the decision reached by the elders. So people, you will see politicians coming out. What really happening, I think, is a popularity game or popularity contest. People want to showcase that they have Nima under control. Anything they say is the final. And therefore, anybody coming out or emerging to be popular is an art robbery that they want to undermine and fight one way or other. For me, I believe in destiny. Number one, people talking about Godfather deserve politically, you must have people center, you must deserve the quality of the people. Somebody who won election consistently 3 times, 2011, 2017, 2030, 2023. That person not popular. You think the people who elected the person didn't know, they don't get a mindset in different government? And the first thing you should look at. I have served as a political party chairman, People's Unification Party. Senator Nugwe can attest. I produced 6 representatives with 2 senators. Then you see I don't have political dividend in Liberia. The move we have made at the legislature, the strife, the histories are fresh. These are political moves. It means that you must have the voice of command, and you must command respect among your colleagues. So you look at somebody that you say the person trying to steal Godfather. Godfather, what salary does he have? Nothing. But the people believe that their tradition should be respected. So you go and have thousands of meetings, the errors remain the same. They say, well, we cannot change that decision.
Were there meetings held to kind of alter that decision of declaring you the Godfather of the
Honors. They use surrogates to insult me on the Facebook. I'm a Confucianist. All set of adjectives. What was the essence of the GIPO meeting? The citizen did not call. Citizen can say, well, we're inviting you here for so program. But you impose program on the people. Only to discuss Godfather issue or if you listen to anybody who behave otherwise, we will make sure we bring you down. We'll do that.
Who was saying that?
The minister.
You mean
Tingma.
Yeah.
Throwing a lot of jobs. But I thought it would have been an interior minister of internal affairs, a role to mobilize elders and chiefs. So every minister in every government had a role to play. That's the role of the internal affairs minister.
I listened to this one. He said he was acting on behalf of the vice president's office to carry the motorbikes there.
What become of the senator of the county? If you want to talk to the citizens of Nimba County, what become? If you don't refer, if you think you don't prefer me, your point is there as a senator. Senator, look, I want to meet with your people. This is the message. I'm a son of the county, and therefore, I'm not in position to travel there now. But I want you to go and convey this message to the superintendent. Let her call off or chiefs and others. Simple. Very simple thing. You understand? So I don't think there is anything that somebody would say this or that. So that what I said, the popularity contest.
Why is this Godfather thing an issue? I've seen a whole lot of different write-ups, different representatives. I saw a write-up from Senator Twine before. I'm not seeing it again. I mean, different claims and counter-claims that about this. There are others who think, given the fact that the vice president is the highest ranking official from the county, that would automatically make him the Godfather.
Is he elected for Nima or you were elected for Liberia? Every country had a hair. When legitimately the legislator are the spokesperson who represent the constituency, the constituents within the constituency. They are the direct person. Any issue, you refer to them. They get back to the people that what they were elected for. If anything going on wrong that the country is not benefiting, who will advocate? It's not the vice president, not the president, but the senator and the representatives in the respective electoral districts. So we got to make it clear the chain. You understand? We must follow the chain. When you follow the chain, there is no problem. But when you want to deviate and carry on span of control, I had a serious reservation on that. What are we elected for? I was elected to represent the people. Whosoever want to talk to the people of the country should pass through the county officials. We were informed the senator, the superintendent, Madam Superintendent, the vice president will be coming in Nima, so we want you to mobilize your chiefs. And we will be present. How it's supposed to be. Respect our two-way streets. You give it to us, we give it to you.
But others don't seem to have an issue with whoever he wants to use to talk to the people. It is only you saying what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe I'm fighting for my right, my place. You got elected as a senator or now elected as a superintendent. The president said going in the county, even if they wrote the superintendent will turn inform the county official, which are the delegate. The senator got followed, the representative got followed. They will tell the person you got to move a lot in huge sum to receive. For the president or the vice president to receive a ration welcome. But in the first place, even if you did, you consulted the superintendent did not inform us. It's questionable. Because in the first place, it appears to the public that there is no good working relationship. Under no condition that the president will go, that there is no condition that the president will go in the country, vice president will go without. If one of the senators two of the senators don't go, one will go by all means. It shows sign of unity. So some of us, most especially me, they don't put it in my context. I'm not satisfied by that. Yes.
Have you made these things known to the vice president's office?
Well, I don't want to open to talk one thing over and again. It's an open secret. And it persists.
There is this thought, sir, that you are the problem. There is this thought that you are the problem in Nimba. Perhaps you have some ambition, you trying to rival Jeremiah Kum as vice president. It's a whole lot of there's a huge segment of Nimba citizens who perceive you, who see you that way.
Only those who feel that they have close proximity with power or to power. But the indigenous in Nimba will not think that way. So it is not true. The Nimba don't have their feelings. If they have problems, they will express it. So it's not true.
But some of them we see on social media.
And what I'm saying now, compare the people who are not on social media, who get it normal. You see that one thing people don't understand. You may portray me negatively in a media landscape. That's how I used to win election in my district. They will say the worst thing about me on social media. Oh, when the district was that MN won. And some people will be surprised, 2032. They will say the worst thing, they even tie their face. But the outcome of the election is what matters. The reason here, the Nima Poor believe that they let somebody who is truthful, who doesn't miss a word. When it's wrong, he say it's wrong. When it's correct, he say it's correct. That's all they need. Look, in Nima, whether you get your tons of money, and you want to portray that you get the money to use on the people, that in the meantime you can be disappointed and frustrated.
Is anybody doing that?
Well, I'm just telling you what the Nima Poor, how the Nima Poor look like. You understand? How the Nima Poor look like. We need respect for each other at all. Oh, you read I came in your studio. Can I dictate to you in your studio? No. So when you ask me a question, if I can't, I'm not able to answer it, I'll politely tell you again. But I can't come here in coach. I say your party, my all over here. Anything I say is the final. Then it means that I'm bypassing the respect. And you don't do that. In a civil war, everybody should respect each other's space. And some of us, we don't pretend on issue. We are very clear. If I have this tax, you know that I get 7 years more. 7 years and for a few months as senator. So when the time comes and the Nima Poor realize I'm not performing, they will move me. So the short time I'm there for, I should be recognized as that senator, and I should talk and speak on behalf of the people of Nima without fear and favor. Simple.
You were in the county that you made some donations, because right after you left, or maybe you were still there was donation of motorbikes to chiefs.
I just starting of it. Anytime I made visitation, my own, I just agree the people I say my poor, I get money. I will not lie to you. I came for to eat together and joke and merry me. And then little thing I got, I gave it to them for development and what have you. Simple. Right after that, you will see people going with fleas or motorbike. It's not the first time. The first one, 100 motorbike went first. With kings, with hearts, different things. And interestingly, the reason why Nima Kande got 2 senators, traditionally, there are certain areas in Nima that Nya will go that I will not attend.
Why?
Because the culture backgrounds. And there are certain areas that Samia Goga will go, Nya may not likely go. But what we discuss there, I will share with him as a senator for to govern the country. They gone 3 times, 2 times in Mabaya. Zegle, they went to Sabo into trying to belittle me. Get motorbikes to people and ill discuss me. But the traditional people know the culture in the country. So they feel, everybody is knowing what is unfolding. That people want to make me unpopular. But I can tell you, say, it's difficult. The only except Samia Koga engaged in any voodoo, any African medicine or what have you, that's the only way they will come on me. If not, I will not be afraid because my hand in anything.
No, but people always thought that you, Koga, were involved in juju. They're very afraid of you, that Koga may be a juju man or someone who does voodooism.
My pastor, Pastor Ellie, Christ Inspirational Pentecostal Church in Wukan. I'm speaking, I believe, if you're listening to me well. And you are a journalist, I'm asking you to go and ask the church, beside the pastor of the congregation. I stood on a pulpit and told God that you, God, I challenge you. People say you are the only person when somebody trusts, you can't do nothing, you can't let the person down. The way I'm going to election, if Samia Koga have anything in the darkness, don't make me to win. I lie down on the pulpit. I'm telling you, I say, Pastor Ellie, when you call him and ask him. If in the first place, any gathering that I go, when they put me on the stage, the first thing I say, hallelujah. God is great all the time. And that what carry me through. So, you see, when you believe in God sincerely, you can be tough. People can be afraid of you. People who engage in anything will be afraid of you.
Are there other leaders who you think may be engaged in juju?
I don't know.
The fact that you mentioned juju, that unless you involve in it, doesn't mean that others are involved.
No, I'm not involved. Like what I'm talking. I'm not involved.
But do you think others are involved? And they could want to
whether they are involved now, I don't know. Because you can never discover the taste of a dog when you are not eating your dog. How will I insinuate that? But I'm saying that people perceive you to be somebody who involved in medicine. I say no. And I give you a reference. The entire pastor in Nimba County, when you ask them, wherever I have gone, that never call God. It is God who gave him the power, not nobody.
But you are also a traditional person.
Granted. Be a traditionalist. Be a traditionalist. It does not mean that you should be involving unscrupulous acts that undermine, take away people's life, take away people's spirit. You understand? Interestingly, let me tell you something. When I wore that traditional something, the whole clothes was soaked with holy oil. Yes. Because it's a tradition.
It was even at that place that people thought,
no, because it's a tradition. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons why we fail in Africa is because we're always forgetting our culture. I'm one of the traditionalists. I respect the culture. But the mind is a one. If you go in the culture, in the tradition, and they're trying to do anything on the contrary, you sincerely say, the other part can't go. You clear because you are designated your life to God. What I'm telling you, Julius, anybody to check around me, all of people that have a relationship with, find out before, those that have had relationship with before. I just say there's Samuel Koga man you've been with before. They may involve in medicine. They will tell you, say, no, that man is clear. The only thing that you will see me taking bath with is salt. You know, Christian can take bath with salt. They have salt bath. I'm not scared. It's in the Bible. Oh, they can, yeah.
No. This can happen when you. Sometimes people see.
Okay, so why you can read Psalm? You read Psalm because to provoke or to prevent your enemy from conquering you. In the Bible, it doesn't mean that you're afraid. David never prayed for your enemy to survive. He said, let your children eat grass. So I believe in the Bible. Even though I'm not too school in the Bible, but sincerely my heart.
Kind of prayer like you be praying for your enemies to die.
Why will you go against somebody?
So I pray to be praying for your enemies to die.
No, nobody. The fact I don't go against somebody, nobody should go against me.
This is the OK Conversation. OK FM 99.5. We have with us Senator Samuel Koga. So let's go back to Nimba. What are some of the issues? Nimba overwhelmingly, heavily voted you, brought this government to power. The numbers were really huge. Do you think Nimba produced a vice president that Nimba is benefiting from the government as it should?
I don't think so.
Why do you say so?
Very good. You got a president of the Republic of Liberia from Louva County. The deputy speaker is an elected post. I don't want to comment on that. You got finance minister. You got central bank governor. You have LRA, Commissioner General. You got LTA. You got the chief of the army staff of the Republic of Liberia. And the list go on. You should have presidency and have oppositions. How many votes, if you compare and contrast Lofa and Nimba vote? Nimba produced a higher vote. Equal work for equal pay. Then you got Pete vice president. I'm sorry for the expression. I'm not saying it because it looks small. We need more. Let me be very frank with you. Let's be sincere.
And this was a similar thing that Senator Johnson used to say against the CDC government.
Yeah. But the idea here is CDC government or whosoever government, for United Party to survive in this election, who came first? And Nima, not be very sincere. Your party cow and eat cow intestine. Who will eat the neck, the liver, the more greasy part? It's unfortunate. And we will say and say again. You understand? People, if any Maya coming talking here and there, maybe they only doing it for favor because they had the opportunity, your friend and not in position, so they're happy. Our people not happy. We work hard. Everybody have a hanging in a country. The second round, we know what Nima did. Let somebody challenge me and say la. It's not Nima that made Unity Party to win at last. Let's be sincere to the disco. Why will we be always the one that people look up to when it comes to politics?
These people.
Well, good evening and good afternoon, good morning, depending on location where you're following us from. This time, we'd like to say welcome to BKS TV and welcome to the Heat Hour program here on BKS TV. On the Heat Hour, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullets. My name is Junior Payne, and this is how I'd like to welcome you this evening to the Tuesday edition of the Heat Hour show here on BKS TV. And of course, in tonight's edition of the show, we'll be hosting former Electoral District 8 Representative Larry P. Yonkoi. He will be joining us here tonight on the show as we discuss a couple of trending issues from Nema County and Liberia too as well. We've gone 23 minutes. We've gone 23 minutes already. See you. Good evening. Welcome to the show this evening, Chief. How you doing?
Thank you, and it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. We are happy to be back. I know we have our guests in the back, so we will not delay here too long. We also have our guys from Studio in Butro who will be joining us here shortly. But it has been a busy week, interesting week. Especially in Nima County. What the best time to get Honorable Yonko on here to get his take on all the things that are happening, especially in his backyard and all that stuff. But a lot of things been happening, and we look forward to dissecting them, discussing them as we go along.
Thank you, Siwa. It's great to have you on the show here this evening too as well. Yonkoi, good evening. Welcome to BKS TV and BK Radio Station. How you doing this evening, Eda?
Well, good evening. I'm fine. Am I unmuted?
Yes, sir. We are hearing you.
Well, it's a pleasure for me to be on your show this evening from our end. Having spent 3 to 4 a week or two of Nimba, I just returned yesterday, and then I ran into the CEO and were able to make this date. So I'm very happy about that. So I'm very happy to be here to give my perspective on most of the trending issues in our country and Liberia. So to our friends all over, you see me coming late. I was just informing lately my followers on my Facebook that they should join us so that we can all make the day for our people in the diaspora and as well. I'm very happy about that.
Well, it's great to have you on here this evening, Honorable Yonkoi. Before we go further, I don't know whether the CEO got something there to say, and we can get started with the conversation here this evening.
No, I just want to know, Honorable, you from Gipo, right?
Oh yes, I'm from Gipo, which is the largest town in Ghana Chiefdom. Okay. Even though Flumpa is the headquarters where the commissioner sits, but Gipo is the largest town, and it's one of the most traditional towns in Nimba. And so you have the traditional people, along with the chiefs and elders, deciding to congregate in District 8. It was not by accident that they chose that place for their venue. So we were there when they came, though I didn't take any official part. I decided to stay away for some strategic reason, but we were there to keep the background safe for our guests. So,
Were
yeah.
you were you invited?
Oh yes, I had a one-on-one discussion with the emissary of the vice president, which is the Minister of Mines and Energy. I had come to Monrovia for something and to spend the 26th with my people, and then upon his return from Buchanan, where the national ceremony was held, I think upon the instruction of the vice president, out of courtesy, invited me to be officially made abreast of the visitation, if I had the time, so I can be part of it. So I called on him at his ministry for maybe 35 minutes discussion, and say, well, we are going into your area. Sorry that we are informing you at least a day at a time. So I was aware, and he said if I had the time, and I found out that I didn't have the time to officially be part of it because it was all governmental affairs. And given my own status, I decided to just stay away. But I openly received the superintendent who was the first that came. I told them they were welcome. And I temporarily vacated the town, and then everybody congregated. It was not fair for me to go after senators had been seated, representative, superintendent, our elders from all over had been congregated for me to go there. If I really wanted to say it, I would really remain with the superintendent, take seat, and then the minister and the senators would meet us there. But that was good, and our people were able to interface with bulk of their leaders, and they too were able to know what the citizens of the town look like and how the town itself look like, whether we were hospitable or not. And so I was invited, but I didn't make use of the invitation. Officially, I didn't take part.
Thank you, and it is my understanding that this meeting is held once in a while.
Yeah, I think
Was it your first time attending or being invited for this type of meeting?
yes, my understanding is that this might be the fourth, because I think it started almost immediately after the Mines and Energy Minister was appointed. So I understand prior to his confirmation, he had a maiden event in Glaizo, PA, his hometown. And from there, they went to Sale, or either before Zegli or Zegli before Sale, and Belegli and the rest of it. So I think this was like a fourth or fifth edition. This was intended for District 8, and they decided to choose people. So it's not a normal thing to just invite a non-state actor to those kind of meetings. But because they were coming in Mambaya, and out of courtesy, I was invited. So I think it's all intended, because I asked him what was the rationale and what was the objective, and he said it was intended to keep the country calm. We can all have our respective views, but when it comes to the country, given the fluid political environment in which Liberia finds itself, it's good for people to always do their homework to ensure that the country is calm, so that we can navigate our own political views, but we can do it in sobriety and love for one another, because after all, what is most important is the country. It was bequeathed unto us by our predecessors. I was just recounting some of the issues. I said we were young boys when Omen Jackson Hebdo rose right in our face from becoming principal of Seneca Central High in the early 70s. And when he was made Assistant Minister of Education, and he brought Michael J.S. Dolo as the principal, and then he went to Monrovia later on. When the Zogas C was available, he went there and became representative. And later on was called back at the ministry as minister, and then came back as senator in 1977, when some of us were in Namre, when Omen Vocal passed. The level of respect that the national government had for Senator Jackson Hebdo were very much unsurpassed. So I was just outlining how working with the chiefs and respecting leaders, the whole Godfather business and all we're talking about. Jackson Hebdo was really Godfather of Nimba during his days. And Voka was real Godfather of Nimba during his days. Because there's the man that would block the road in Yasuno when Todman was passing. The Todman was forced to step down and talk to him before he passes. And this is Voka I'm talking about, speaking for his country. Yasin Edo was more modern, well-educated, well-connected, second vice chair, national vice chair of Three Party. He was equally respected, and because of that, Nimba was respected. And so Senator Johnson was in the same category because of the role he played. He was really placed in at that level of respect for the from the country people. So giving a vote left behind, somebody needs to step in, or nobody should step in until God himself can raise his own people gradually. Somebody that will step there without making effort for that. But this is it. So this kind of history, when we meet our younger brothers, we tell them that, look, let's take it easy. This country was left into our hands by the likes of David Douane, David Toye, and Yasin Hebdo, Samuel Voka, Johnny Voka, Benjamin Troazaman himself, Jamie Bopley, David Wadan, Samuel S.G. Dan, Peter Dolly, all of those elderly people that we met then in leadership. Of course, Omen, Sano, or from Sanekole, or Soko rather, or Sanekole, Yalaman Douane, Doki. These are people that we saw them in 1964. Well, we had little age when we became senators. So by the time we could grab the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, we were able to know what was obtaining in the country after 4-5 years of us becoming representatives. So we were able to outline some of those things to tell them more reason why we should be careful how we handle situation with the country. And so, but our situation in the country is very fluid now because of the eye-opening that happened. Most of the elders who are elders are retired teachers, retired lawmakers, retired commissioners, some industrialists, they work in Bowman, Lamco. And so you don't just enter any village and say, where is the elder? And then you see him with 2 or 3 pence on his shoulder. And so these are people you cannot just easily walk through. Then when you go to the traditional people too, that's why the fact that they all know, for example, the chief elder of Gipo is a bachelor degree in agriculture. He worked with NCRDP. He served the Minister of Internal Affairs until he will retire. And he's the chief zoo of the town. So they're going to you can't just go and say, I want to talk with the zoo elders, and you see that you see some old wretched people. You will definitely see some informed people.
Yeah.
And so we continue to tell our people, look, the only way to enjoy your leadership is to be the servant of the people, be in short trousers, be ahead of the people. Don't lead from behind, lead from in front, live by example. Accidentally, some of us find ourselves out of power, but we are still there to give to this community what we are giving them when we had the power to be part of the ruling class. So luckily for us, we are still being respected. Our views are still counted, so we appreciate it. So, like for example, if I were nobody, you wouldn't be using this kind of large platform to always want me. Like recently in Wutu, your hometown, we were rejected. We were rejected from entering the presidential. The silver compound, even though it was well arranged, the political leader could not enter, and then we decided to use the office of our friend who carry us. But those are issues maybe you want to raise. What was the tour in your Diaple, Gwanwie, Dameplay, Florley, Butu, SF, and other places? What was the tour about? B-play. These are issues. We're not just sitting down, we carrying our tentacles all around, and our people are beginning very conscious of their environment. Unlike the past where you don't even see people running campaign. Most of those people, those elder leaders talk about, won their seat through AJ Raw building, and they were introduced to the people in the rural area. But nowadays, you can be elected and they can introduce you to people in Monrovia. Nobody needed to do you in Monrovia to be elected representative now. But those days, you must be recognized on Ashmore Street, and sometimes they go and say, oh, this is our representative. And so the life has changed around. And so we're very happy that we are able to live and see the transition from being appointed in Monrovia as representative of the people and introduced to your people to where you can be elected as a neophyte, as a non-entity by your people, and then they bring you in Monrovia and say, look, this is the representative of this district. I think with that transition, we are making some headways.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We have one of our guys from Wutu here who you will probably have to quiz him as to why they did not allow CMC to use the silver compound. I saw that and I spoke about it, and that was this. I thought that was disrespectful. There was no need for that, especially with pre-arranged, arrangement done. The Boris, according to Honorable Boris Badi, he said they made arrangement. They even cleaned the place and everything. And time came now to use it, and then that happened. But welcome to the show, Clinton. Hopefully, people from District 5 are listening tonight. And we have with us here Honorable Larry Youngquay on here with us. So I know you've listened to, I don't know if you have, but you listened to the speeches that the leaders who went to Gipo, to your hometown there, the speeches they made at the program. I personally thought it was different. It had different views. Each of them had different perspective on there. One of them, who happens to be from District 5, Dr. Jeremiah Wapo, he clearly stated that he felt that the elders were, or the chief elders they were leaning sideways, and they should be in the role of a twin mother. Instead, they were leaning sideways because the way things were going. And he also alluded to the fact that this was his first time attending. When they're having meetings like that, they should call everybody. I think Honorable Ernest Mansi also restated the same thing. When you are having a meeting like this is not your first time. We believe this is your third or fourth time. Something you also said. Major stakeholders like yourself and the entire caucus and other major like ministers from NIMBA, all the big folks should be part of it. But they are not doing that. So they all spoke about it. And then Honorable Tingma had his own say. He had different view, representing the Nima County, the Solidarity Movement, as he always does, the vice president, and then he and the soup were on the same page. I don't know if you listened to that. What's your perspective on those two views?
Well, you have to look at the what you have to look at the objective of the meeting, or what is the philosophy of dealing with chiefs and elders exclusively, even to the extent that you are lavishing gadgets like mobility equipment and motorbikes. I think over 150 have been issued thus far. Lapels are given to the home chiefdom, the host chiefdom, for women to use, since they were the one that hosting the people, and traditional gowns and caps distributed. All of these lavish entertainment and recognition of our people. Obviously, if the objective is not broad, obviously you will see some exclusion. So it's not by surprise that people who may not be in the same land of thoughts with them will not be invited. For example, like there were a lot of calls coming from all over, including my party. Even Senator Koga called me whether I knew about the beating. I said, no. What you're hearing is not the first time. They were right behind your backyard in Ziegler before, right behind your backyard in Bilegle, and of course behind us in Lazopi and other places, Sale, District 6. So this is not the first time, but if you were not invited, then I want you to also understand that it just happened to be in my backyard where I have little or no information about it. And so he told me he was not invited. And so it is with maybe one or two other persons. But those that were invited, some of them were able to show up, like the senator, Mr. Troyen, and then of course, Honest Mercier, a representative from District 4, and the superintendent was there. Yes, so everybody has reason to express their whatever, whether consternation or disagreement or disappointment, for lack of better words. But again, you have to look at the objective, because there's something we call evaluation by objective. So if the objective set did not say it was an inclusive meeting of all stakeholders, then you don't hold people for not bringing certain people. Even though, for example, the World Cup that recently took place, obviously they will say, look, once you are selected on your team, you could come in the country. But America still had to make the decision who gets visa and who doesn't get visa.
Yeah.
So because the objective is that we are going to the host, but the host will decide whether you are qualified to go. They restricted some people, even movement. Right after the game, they should board their plane and go to where they're supposed to be sleeping. So this is it. The organizer of this decided who to invite and who not to invite. Those of us who were invited who did not officially take part, what about us? So those that were not invited, they are as good as those of us who were invited but didn't take part. But the bottom line is, we hope next time the objective will be clearly stated. Even the goodies that are all being offered our people, what are they about? To me, any attempt for you to foster friendship by using logistics, high, money, capital intensive means you must get ready, because you will never satisfy people. We got more than 700 chiefs and elders. So you are providing 150. The other people say are going, downhearted. So when will you start providing all of those people what they need in order to achieve what you want to achieve? So I think what we could have done was to do it the other way around. But with the news are coming out where they are accusing the minister said, no, I'm just an emissary of the vice president who decided to give to his people in response to the requests that were made after the first distribution. And I think the understanding, the clarification is being understood. Those that went to the LACC, we don't know whether they will still push it, but these are issues. So next time, if the objective is clear enough, most people say, why are you not there? There is a county sitting. I say, no, this is not county sitting. We don't have county sitting again. We have county council, which meets, I think, every quarter at the capital city of the county, meaning to discuss budget that will be presented to them by the superintendent, apparently after a priori consultation with the various districts as to what their needs are. And then when the council sits, they start looking at each other as the legislature can deliberate on budgets that are presented to them by national government. So it's from there each district is represented in terms of what they need to do. But this other one is a gathering of chief and elders merely at the behest of the past president through emissaries such as superintendent, like-minded superintendent, senator, and representative, and of course the mines and energy minister, who is not necessarily the direct representative of the executive branch at the level of the presidency, but because this is not a formal governmental event, the vice president can decide to select who he wants to represent him at that level, and that will obtain. So with that understanding, and not trying to confuse my people who I'm currently doing political business with, I decided to see off until in the evening hours when District 8 was playing District 1. I drove out of the town and came to Ganta to see the game. And then by the time I went back, the official program was over. And then people had to sleep to receive their motorbike the next morning. And we were there to provide the bike ground support because we were hosting them. We had to do everything possible to ensure that our people have the taste of the hospitality for which they decided to choose our place in the first place for their meeting. So that's basically what it is.
And District 8 lost. I think when you came on the field there, they defeated you, and then they said, before we go to the host.
When I got on the field, District 1 was leading District 8 4-2. And in no time, our girls redeemed, and then again tied at the level of the kickball.
Don't talk about the boys, the football.
Yeah, the football we lost in a very disappointing way. Because from the get-go, we were piling pressure. As I speak to you, I still got in my closet 2 of the trophies I won when I was a leader.
The leader?
Yeah, okay. my girls won one year, and my boys won, I think 2 of them when we won them jointly. And because we do not have a district office here where we could position these things centrally, I still have those 2, and I'm yet to see anybody beat that record to win both the kickball and the football the very same year. And so those trophies are still available with me.
Well, District 5 will work on breaking that record. But back to the bike thing you talk about. The minister did clarify on Voice of Kampa, and he said that the first set of bike, the 100th bike, was purchased by a businessman. Businessman purchased that, and then I guess he donated that. So the other 50 was done by the vice president. Also, I'm not sure if the folks going to LACC they will continue, but Senta leader, the big person that he made a statement. He commended minister for the clarification, but he also had more questions because clarifying that he also got other people involved, which happens to be the businessman who want to know his interest and also, that. But without further ado, before we go to the host and Clinton here from Buto, Clinton will asking why they had to let CMC out of that, and we didn't use it. But so if you've been following, you touch it a little bit. And then you can't come on this platform and we don't ask you. And you are a traditional person, someone who knows the history of Nimba County. You just, touch it a little bit, but you've been teaching us here back and forth on that. So Honorable Koga, as you've heard, he went to do his thank you tour in Nimba. He went by Vonway, he went to Doru, I believe, and then on his way back to the late General Town. The people, to say thank you there to them, the elder or chief there, and then other folks who decided to tell him thank you and then bestow or confer that godfathership title over to him. So, he was not the one that stated that. Even Honorable Senator Twine also stated that in Gipo, in your hometown. So since that thing happened, as you know, it's been catching on fire. Further, when it happened, the folks from the other side who happened to be on the other camp, they did not like it. Most people, there has been debate all on Facebook, everywhere, on over the news and Nimba people have different views, and we respect that. We respect each everyone's views on that. But I want to know, without me staying in my view, what's your take on that? What's your take on the whole? Does it warrant this noise? The fact that everybody is fighting for this. People are saying, no, this person is not the godfather. This person is the godfather. Koga is not. The VP is. This person is. Godfather title. Prince Johnson earned it. He fought for it. And what is this godfather title? Why Nimbayan? Some Nimbayans are making big deal of it.
Well, it's because of the politicization of this hitherto social jargon that really was generated from the Nigeria show where a gentleman was acting because of the role he played was known as Godfather, and people said that anybody who had that domineering personality among his peers should be given an accolade. And so it was because of that this was transferred into our politics. But my 12 years with Senator Johnson and his nearly 20 years as leader of the country, I cannot remember any occasion where that position was conferred on him. As a matter of fact, when he was very successful at making leaders and creating 2 presidents, it was his time I understood. He just said, but with the kind of thing I'm doing, I'm the godfather of the country. And he just pronounced it like that, and then people started calling him that. And it suited him. So in order to have that power, you must have extraordinary power. Mm-hmm. Extraordinary power, par excellence. Do you know that the first 2 senators we had in 1964 were never elected by anybody?
Yeah.
Todman had congregated the big mover and shakers of Nimba. I've met them and said, look, this is the country I'm going to create. What is this? I want to break down the central province into 2 counties. One must be on this side of St. John and one must be on the other side going towards Ivory Coast border. How you want yourself to be called and how, who are the 2 senators? We need you guys to give me 2 senators. And so deliberately when he was working, because prior to Nimba being declared, Voka was already serving as senator for the province. He and Bodo Bagley from Beaumont on our Hindi Island. Bodo Bagley, his daughter, was with us at the house, Kopu Bagley's father. And Voka too was serving, representing us from the other side. So Bonk and the Central Province had 2 representations. And so when he met with these people, the person you could see was Voka. So he made them bring the likes of the late Charles Boyu, who was the first educated person in Nimba, brought Justin Doe, then those young men at the time, and Dr. Joseph Boyu, and all those Tata people, and our brothers, Gizikman, our papi then. He said, look, you can give me 2 senators. So when Tubbo was walking out, he turned around deliberately and said, excuse me, if I were you people, as you people are deliberating, if I were people like you, I would choose Ome Voka to be one of the senators. So Senator Voka just stood and said, gentlemen, I'm senator already. And you, Toy, but so Toy, why you sitting down? Get up, you're the second senator. Put your hand up. People start clapping for 2 of them. And obviously, that how they became senator. Those charismatic leader, because and this whole Gio and Manu thing today, why Voga didn't go to Bunasua or Sekuya or Batu, anybody from the Manu to just be the second senator. He went to Lower Nimba and called a colleague and said, look, put your hand up, you are the senator. I've been a senator already. That's how they became senators. And they were there until I don't know, the other man was disabled through his eyesight and the other man passed before they could talk about Catherine Cummings and all coming on board, and then Cassie Abdo then coming to take the seat that was left vacant. So these are the things. So nobody can doubt that Voka was a godfather. But a man who president will fear, the president will appoint, a senator will listen to him to get the name of the country, to name other officials. He was a godfather. Like I told you, Jazzy Abdo, whenever Tubbo was coming to Senegal, if he didn't bring his wife, Tubbo photo will be in a souvenir, Jazzy will be next. If you bring Ofi Boyen or any of the officials, secretary, Jazzy will be the third. He was well respected, and because of that, he being grounded both traditionally and also in modernity, he also knew how to handle his colleagues. He was a godfather. But the only person that came close to them that is Senator Johnson, because of a role in the war where your people were doomed for obliteration. And out of frustration, the Nimba raid took place, nothing good came out of it. November 12th took place, nothing good came out of it. All we could get is more mayhem, more death of our people. And for you to come and say, this is the reason for which we came. And when you saw that the objective was not clear from the mother unit, they were out of vendetta or they were trying to do something else. He broke away. You're fighting at 2 fronts, before you and behind you. And for that man to come and achieve that feat, look, that's it. Few people have that grace. And he did it without being killed in the process and achieved that feat. So he was a godfather automatically in the minds of the people. That's why no matter whatever people say about him when thanking for election, he had the number. So this is it. So we yet to see any person of that extraordinary character that will get that. So the noise is just being made. The people in Zor who gave the accolades to the senator, it is their right. Equally so, those who are saying it shouldn't be so, it is their right. The position is not paid for. It doesn't give you any special place. But the argument that, well, since I jumped over the man's body, I mean, everything that he had is for me. Up to this time, even the junior senator situation, say confusing people. Kofi that saying I jumped over the senior senator's body, I should give it to me. They should give it to me as well as the godfather position. But the Constitution of Liberia says you, from the time 2 persons go to the pool for the first and second place, the person with the highest will go for 9 years. The person with the second highest will go for 6 years. Thereafter, all other senators go for 9 years. So automatically, you will be holding until the new person joins you. Automatically, you become a senior. Seniority is determined by the length of time in a place. So, but that is the constitutional, the legal interpretation. But socially, people look at a person that has the biggest zest, the biggest weight in terms of culture, tradition, and the rest of it. So these things are left open. So those of us who believe in the constitutionality of the country, we don't want to say much about these things. But I think that position is more or less social than legal. And so socially, if people are not calling on people to give them that, it's their right. Equally so, luckily for us, the vice president has said that he's not interested in that position because he is the highest official of government from the country. But the other argument of those who believe that if there's anything to be done with godfatherism, it should not go to him because he is not the leader of the country, he is the leader of the country, the deputy leader of the country, so he cannot come and play a role in the country. But everybody is like, knows this. Everybody has It's our own nose, which is different
Every
from
guy
the
with
other.
a smile.
And so the opinions of people are as unique to every individual as their noses and ears that all of them carry around. So to me, I like to get myself out of it. But I just here to dissect the historicity of these things, why it became pervasive the way it became. Senator Johnson was a man that nobody could easily do it because a track record to be fighting your former group and then the national government in front of you, and you managed to navigate your way through and say came by and served the little town. To me, that position, it was like you can't fight grace. So equally so, those that feel that because he fought for that one and the inheritor is true, therefore they should give it to them. There's their view, but it's a social view. But constitutionally, legally, there is no godfather. And for example, I fought against it. I say, as a Christian, you can commit to fornication,
Uh-huh.
this, that, you can thievery, but you can easily be forgiven. But blasphemy,
To me is
which is the sin against the Holy Spirit, cannot be forgiven. So if I believe in Trinity, that God, the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and the Son, meaning that the Holy Spirit is enshrined in the name God, and you say you are father to a God, then that blasphemy. So I used to say, look, this is blasphemy. God does not have father. Nobody gets godfather in the country. We used to say that in passing and we make fun out of it. But if the whole thing is resurfacing, I just hope those that are talking about it will know where they're talking about from where I sit. I'm simply providing the genesis of these things. And so if you don't have that characteristic of doing something extraordinary, something, Senator Johnson was so special. Imagine we took Senator Johnson and the county administration to the Supreme Court. That case was never placed on the docket. Everybody respected him, Chief Justice, President. Everybody respected Senator Johnson. Either they fear him or they respected him. You know, they would rather talk to you to cool down on your case than to say we put this one on docket. This is the kind of man he was. And so that vote he left is so big that you need about 4 or 5% to go together to fill it. So when he died, I told our colleagues that there is no more number 9. The number 9 is not here. So what we do, let's play collective forward. You know, so now when they form position football field, so now instead of having one number 9 on top, you can have 3 persons on top. Crowded
okay.
Mayfield.
Oh, man,
Meaning
you
that
used
we
to,
need,
you used to play football before.
oh yes, I even played for the University of Liberia, though I was just holding the jersey, but at least I was qualified to be among the 25 men that was selected to go to the West African University game. You know, so I play for St. Mary's, those that know my background. Yeah, so basically that way, and I'm still following football very closely. So Nimba no longer has a one person at the number 9 level. So we have 3 or 4 persons playing the foul, and then they made the craft, meaning that there must be extensive consultation, even beyond those that are in government, when any issue evolve. The concession agreement, the 200 million that was given, Nimba 10%, where is it? The argument about the 2 seats that are just being thrown around, we are not past the Senate yet. What is the role of NIMBA? Can we have other forces that will come and tell our people what to do? How can you give Basa with Lufa with 387,000, Bonkande with 430,000, NIMBA with 620,000? How can these places that got 200,000 different, all of them just be given two seats? What is the rationale?
Thank
You
you.
know,
So,
so
so before you go further there, we'll go into that. We got more time
yeah.
here, but you made a
Mm.
point there, and I want you to clarify that. You
Mm.
talk about the great leaders that we had before. You know, all those Johnny Folk and all those folks. You talk about Jackson Hebdo. You talk about everyone. So there are some school of thoughts in Nimba that would say Nimba has always had one arrowhead. I think the soup always talk about that, and few other folks will say that. Would you, and then now they are saying that the VP is the current arrowhead of the county and we should fall in line and follow the VP's steps. What's your take on that historically? Is it true that Nima has always had one arrowhead going forward and we should do the same as it is being portrayed?
Oh, yes. Prior to 1964 and up to 1977, the arrowhead in the country was Superintendent, Omen Johnny Voka. And from there, you had Omen Jackson Hebdo up to the coup. And thereafter, what Dr. Koto, Dr. Seguano would say, the interregnum, INTERRANDUM, the period between the war, during the war, the interregnum. Chatila was girlfriend for himself and everybody else, so we couldn't say. But immediately after the war, it was Senator Johnson. So those are undisputed leaders. Nobody could come closer to them. So what they say is what happens. And so on that, they are right. Imagine Samuel Voka, who was supposed to be the son of Johnny Voka, who could have been a superintendent.
So how about now? I want you to compare that to the statement you made where you said number 9, we no longer have number 9, we should play collective striker. So
no, at the level of the country, because if we were to go to country sitting, if we were going to talk about country meeting, or the president, the vice president will be careful not to come there. But outside of country discussion, obviously the order here currently is the vice president. Nobody can take it from him. Yeah, so you're looking for a way to put yourself together and look for one arrow here to look for a way to see the president, to see the vice president. But now you got a vice president with you. That means you almost had the president with you. So if you do want to give him the respect,
right,
as the head, which will bring more benefit to you than the negativity attached, then it means you then we don't know what we are talking about. So to
and how about at the county level now?
At the county level, it is the 2 senators that are ahead. And you don't necessarily have to have if there's the 2 senators, depending on who plays the role, automatically you see the show from the other person.
Thank you. And I will stop there. Thank you so much. And I will have to go to other folks. I know I have made it, you and myself now. so and that's why before I go to the host here and then the other folks, that's why I have concern with the folks who are trying to bring the VP down to the local level, to the county level when it comes to measuring him or measuring arms with other local or county-wide leader. I don't think he's the vice president of the country. I mean, second in line, big person. How can you bring him to a county level and start trying to have debate with senators and Soup and other folks? I think the folks who are doing it, I think that's disservice to the VP. The VP is way up there, and he's at number 2 in the country. So we should be talking about national thing. We should not be bringing him down to NIMA. He's not just a NIMA person no more. He's a national figure. He's the vice president of the country. So I'm glad that you shed light on that, and I've had a lot of questions for you, and you answered mine. So I'll turn it over to Junior. He's the host, so he can take it from there.
I will you for now. See you. Maybe we can go to Clinton, and then I will you here for now and follow the conversation closely. I'm learning a lot.
All right, yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying the show. Welcome to the show, Luscious. Clinton, man, the last time CMC came over there, and I want to say congratulations to CMC too. One of our fathers, really Meyer, who's a prominent son of Nima for Buyao from the Yao era. There, he's a big name. I heard he joined, CMC. Congrats to him and congrats to CMC. But that's a big win. He's someone that is highly respected there, Honorable Yonko. I think you know that. So I heard that. So Clinton, over to you. You were there the last time. We have Honorable Yonko in studio. They came to District 5. Honorable Boris Badia said that they made negotiation with the leadership there to use their compound. And then when the people came out, the people said, no, you're not using it. What you know about that? And then you can add that to your question if you have questions for the Honorable Man.
Okay, CEO, thank you. Thank you very much. Tonight, like Junior said, I'm really enjoying the platform tonight. Honorable Nyoko has been one of the politicians that really used to follow in the NIMA politics. He former representative Garrison Yelu and the one from District Number 7 at the time. They were the top lawmaker from NIMA who really used to represent NIMA at the time. So he had been one of my favorite. in politics. But it's just like I will not resign in district number 8, but I'm really admiring the show tonight. So, what you just said, I'm not the administrators of the Butu compound, but then we were able to get to the authority at the time. When the CMC came here, according to the information, the statutory superintendent was not in Butu at the time. It was the inspector. I think the third person in command, the inspector, is the one that was here. But according to him, the very day CMC entered, or the very day he entered into the district, and according to him, there was no proper negotiation or arrangement that have to do with CMC having their meeting or appreciation using the town hall. I mean, they say the administrative hall. So at the time, there was nothing like that. There was no arrangement that was causing not to allow them to enter into the hall. And other citizens were saying that there was a call from the county. This is what prompted him to take the decision. And he said there was nothing a call from the county. The only
What
thing
when
was
they
that
county, you mean like the superintendent or the lawmaker?
either the superintendent or the inspector from I'm talking about from internal affairs county. But
Okay.
he clearly stated that there was nothing like that. It's just that there was no proper arrangement. He respect most ability and he even respect the Boris man himself, but it's just that there was no proper arrangement. If TMC want to use a place, anytime they can and make that arrangement, he will allow them to use
That's
the
not
place.
what have to do, people. And when they're making an arrangement now, the journalists then you'll have to go there. You have to videotape
but
it, people, because
but from CMC side too, they were saying that the arrangement and even when they brush the compound as well. But he said he saw them brushing. He only can saw the area clean, but I don't know who they brushing. There was nothing like brush the area and then you use it hard. So that was it.
okay, cool. You got a question for the honorable, or you just want to learn? If you want to learn, we
Yeah, I'm just I'm still breaking. If I'll ask question, then will be maybe when it kind of but I'm still breaking for now.
okay, thank you. And then thanks to our followers here. We got a lot of people following tonight and a lot of engagement here on our Young Quiet people. People enjoying the history that is being taught here tonight. And as always, we enjoy it. The younger generation, including myself, there are some things that we don't know, and it's good to have people like you around to teach our younger generation. Well, Luscious Booming, welcome to the show, my man. Long time.
Thank you, brother. It's been a while now.
Yeah, we have Honorable Yonkwa here with us. We have so many things that we're discussing tonight. We are still in the Mac Country, and then after you, we will jump to the national scene, and then from there we'll talk about CMC, and then finally we'll close with him when it comes to District 8 there. Over to you, your question.
Yeah, I don't really got a question directly to the Godfather thing. And I mean, I listened to him briefly, and I just want to tell him thank you for at least the little bit of historicity of his quote unquote Godfathership of Nima County. And it's clear to every one of us that Godfathership does not come with any direct benefit. Nothing accounts with, but it's surprising that now he has become the center of our discussion. And so, thank you so much, Honorable Yonkwe, for that. I don't have, like I said, 100% question. I don't know whether this is restricted directly to this Godfather thing or
No. It's about Nimba. Any topic you have in Nimba County, anything. It doesn't have to go far. I just brought it in to ask, but it's not even
okay.
your topic.
Okay, yeah. Because with the Godfather thing, I think it was all coming all years back. We were a little bit, younger or coming all in Nima. The first Godfather I ever heard was the old man from Diablo. During the war.
Yeah, that was a fighting name.
Yes, that was a Godfather name. That's the first Godfather for me I ever, heard. And I don't know on the basis of what he got that Godfathership or that thing or the title. And then after that, when the war subsided, the names little bit dropped. because it was attached to him directly. I don't know where he is now, whether he's alive, he's there. I never met him before.
I mean, I remember fighting name. I remember real name. Godfather.
Okay, Godfather. Yeah, that's the only Godfather I ever heard. Yeah. So, yeah. Then, until then, Senator Johnson came from Nigeria and then because of his strength in Nimad and then we start hearing about Godfathership. That's what I heard. That point, getting to know Godfather and thing. But then right now, I mean, being in the leadership now and people trying to inherit, Godfathership. It kind of confusing. We're trying to process to see what really it brings to the Nimad, table and what Nimad can get from out of it. And I'm so glad that our vice president, Jeremiah Kuhn, he has taken himself from that picture. He has gone beyond that, and we're discussing national issues instead of local, things. However, the case is, for me, I don't see anything that we should be discussing all of the time. What we should be discussing now is our development, our unity in Nima. Like, I just saw something today on just without coming. Quarter two has been given Godfathership. I don't know how realistic that one is. I saw that. So now it's becoming.
Where you saw it?
I saw somebody page. I think I was screenshotting when I'm done. I'll bring it to you. I mean, on Doris and other people.
Godfather Nimba or Godfather Booyah?
Booyah. Godfather or Booyah. So now we have Godfather or Booyah, Godfather or Nimba. I don't know which one will be discussing that. And on the basis of what? And people, I guess people will get it. Godfather.
We're not discussing that one yet.
Yeah.
I want to make correct the Godfather thing. I just wanted the honorable man to give his input on that. Move on to
so let's just leave that. It doesn't really make sense to me, in my opinion. But my question to Honorable Nyankwe, I don't know. I'm so sorry that maybe I may be that diverted a little bit, but I don't know what is his position or his perspective on this war crime code. How would this war crime code, I mean,
so he just dropped off. Yeah. So hold on to your question till he comes back.
Okay.
He dropped it there for a little while there. So when he comes back, he can ask. That's a good question. That's actually a great one. So we'll be discussing that. We'll be discussing the drugs issue. That'll be our next topic. And then from the drugs issue, we'll go to CMC, and then we'll close out. He's recontesting his district. So we'll close out with that. Okay. So let's see if he can join us here.
Okay.
You were asking about a position on the war crime code thing. I think you can finish up so he can answer.
Yeah. So do you believe that we will have war crime code, or are you still fighting for the establishment of the war crime code?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. At a certain point in time, I told the Dimba people that Senator Johnson and myself were on the same wavelength when we were advocating for the war crime code establishment. Because he said his reason for standing up to do what he did was to avenge for the manner in which Nimba people were treated, the annihilation, the killing of people, the killing of children. So for him to sit and he knew he could do something about it, it was not worth it. So he threw himself in the ring and he did what he could. And so my take on the issue at the time was that, Senator, yes, you went for the big gun and he brought him down. But there are 1,000 others in that circle that committed mayhem. Those that went to Lutheran Church, those that went to the UN compound at the time, where you are Lusa today, where some of our people like John Blair, not John, but Paul Blair and other people he had lost their life. They were not a sin though that replicated himself through genetically modified means. To say he replicated himself 1,000 times ago. These people were still among us, and not only those from Grand Gita, but there are many other people who were used to carry on the mayhem. And so, since the provision is made, let the code be established for all of them to. You don't have to fight again. Your own revenge was glaring. It's on the tape all over. But there are other people who know about it, have seen them, and their names are documented. Let them appear. And so I'm still convinced there and then and now that the code should be established for us to find finality to the ugly past. So as it is, that's where we are. And then unfortunately, I was surprised that the senator said he signed the World Chronicle document in the office of the vice president. And at the time we were at the level of the House, the gentleman showed loyalty to the Godfather at the time. Whenever that issue came up, the likes of the now vice president, the like of Gombu Kagon, the like of Senator Koga, and of course, these people never wanted that particular issue to come on the floor. It's just like the House had rule. Otherwise, some of them were taking it and tuning it apart. So what they did was they worked behind the scene. Like within no time, we raised over 53 signatures. We needed only 49. But the speaker at the time, being a secretary to the senator called because he was part of CDC, said the original copy got missing, and we had to raise signature again. But unfortunately, when the situation changed, and at the level of the Senate, the vice president saw himself presiding, and it was the time now people started signing the document for it. So conditions change, and the time changes. So for now, it will be a disservice. It will be counterproductive for Unity Party if this particular code did not come to light, because most people will feel that with all the things we did, CDC, who just borrowed Senator Johnson during the second round, and they were able to succeed in winning, they were able to protect him. They did everything to strangulate the passage. But the party that Senator Johnson for the first time supported in the first round and second round, when they got to the mansion for the process to start unfolding faster than it had ever been, this is why most people feel that it is because of that pressure that led to us being where we are today. And so the only way it will be shown that it was not intended for him was for the code to be established. Of course, the government has set up some processes have begun. We have one of the most erudite lawyers in Liberia leading it as an executive director, and some of the best brains in the country are on that team. So, yes, I still have the hope that the code can be established, because there are a lot of documentation that are required. Because under our law, non-national can preach law in Liberia. So if you have lawyers coming from outside to serve on a court bench, then either as juror or private prosecutor, meaning defending those that will be held responsible, or defending the court, they must go through the Liberian Bar Association. So the law that we pass, we have to undo that portion of our law that says non-lawyers cannot practice in Liberia. And whether it is an exclusive local court or it's going to be hybrid court, which is internationally as well as the national combination of both, we don't know. And where are the fundings coming from? Will we construct an edifice, or we use some of the existing edifice? All of those questions need to be answered. And from now to 2029, I don't know whether we have the answer to these questions, because most of those people from NIMBA who didn't want a World Chronicle to come to deal with their hero, who were trying to protect him at all costs, even if it meant collecting money to make him raise enough funds to get a lawyer, they would do. Unfortunately, they're losing at the rate at which it happened. If these questions are not answered, we are satisfied, it will erupt. The question will come up during 2029 election. So my advice to the current government is that since the law was not intended, or the process was not intended at one person, it was intended to put finality to our ugly past. Let them do everything they can to ensure that that code is established. So even if it means arraigning people before it until the election, they will know that something has happened. But if you just allow it and drop the ball, it will have a lot of questions to answer. And so this is one of my brother. So I say hold a view, just for the sake of accountability and taking violence from our politics. If there are disagreement, let jaw, instead of war. Meaning that let's talk instead of fighting. So that's why for my second time, I had to drive to Butu Crossing when they're doing the war. And this trip we made, we also drove there. And also that we can always have graphic view of what transpires and what can be done when we have the opportunity to be closer to power. Those places don't need ferry, they need bridges like we have in Loguato and Ganta, so that our people can do cross-border trade or cross-culture. Those are things that bring healing. When we have OAU, it was a relationship, it was an organization of heads of state, but now we have AU. When you use the word union, that we use our EEC, Economic Union, European Economic Community, it was heads of state, now you have EU. So you have several branches that you saw. One of our best brains among all recently was sent to Abuja as Commissioner for Economic and Agriculture Affairs, so that the people-to-people relationship now is no longer head of state to head of state relationship. You talk about culture, talk about economics, resources, banking, everything that has to do with the people. Those are the kind of issues we're talking about. And so the World Crime Code is going to put those one behind us, and we start thinking, my brother, the issue we have in NIMBA, we have enough money that we can start doing some things now. With all the budget that we have, up to 1.2 billion that was projected, I don't care how much you increase agriculture budget or education budget, you still have volunteer teachers. You still have some school that up to elementary school that got only two teachers. And they two are not paid on time when they leave to go to Gata or Monrovia for their pay, no school. You still got health centers that do not have detergent, do not have full mark. The delivery rooms do not have tile on the wall. How? Some of us who live in the districts with vehicles, we are almost like ambulance, and it's risky. You don't put people on the vehicle. We don't have anything to restrict them, and the rest of it, you could be charged. But again, what is good? To have then not conveyed to the nearest area where they can get operation when the need arises, or you should leave it. Which one? So if the monies that are given to these ministries can provide those things to make it effective, since I started giving 25,000 every month to Plumpa High School when I was there, just to maintain chemistry, physics, mathematics instructor, or at least the first high school graduate to be put out. Since I left job, that money is not offered now. For the past 3 years, the volunteer teachers that are supposed to receive that money, even though government is trying to put some of them on salary. There are so many things that could be done by this government that is not being done. So if the country resources can be used for that purpose to fill the gap, once it is resoluted at the country council that this is our manifest necessity. So a lot of things are going on down. We need financial institutions that we can divert some of our resources to, so that when we shall have left the scene, our people don't have to stream themselves again. There will be natural supply of resources to the country for its own improvement. A lot of innovative things we should be talking about. So when World Crime Code is behind us, Godfather's contestation is behind us, these are things you need to bring the best brains together to start discussing, placing them on committees to start talking about our history and the rest of it. So to me, I look more at these things than talking about these trivial issues. So basically, that's where we are. World Crime Code is good. We have to come. We have to put the final nail on the coffin of our ugly past.
And there's no doubt, no question. Even there are videos out there. One of the videos we even had here was the former senator, the late senator, venting his frustration with this administration, stating that they were using. He was surprised that a war crime code was the first thing on the agenda. To paraphrase what he said was, You know, the people that we fought for went all over the place for everything, you know, for their first agenda to be war crime code. It was surprising to him. He stated that, and that's something that is out there. So it's not rocket science. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that uh, the introduction of war crime code and the discussion, and then this government, the government he brought to power, signed it. It was a major frustration that he talked about, he complained about throughout until he died. But welcome to the show, DK Way. We have our old man here. Old man is teaching us tonight. No, we're just here learning a lot from him tonight. We are about to leave Nima County. We are now heading to Monrovia, where
before you leave Nima, I got one question for him. Can I ask the question?
Yeah, ask the question. I gave you 1 minute.
Uncle Larry, were you invited at the GIPO program?
Man, is that when you come to church late, you don't raise song. Yeah, you come to church late, you don't just start singing. The woman said you were invited. You were invited there.
I was invited. You know, the forerunner of the GIPO program, my colleague, the vice president has a high level of regard for me. He told Representative Tingman that saying you are the arrowhead for this program, you need to let the old man know officially. So when I came down for Christmas break, he invited me at the office and officially told me that they were coming at my home and I needed to be there. Then later on, the vice president himself called me, but he was not direct. The COS called me, they were not direct. So I was invited. But there was a caveat that if I had a time, they would want me to be at the program. I was in the township, but for some reason I did not officially attend. So no disrespect to the minister and the past president, but I understand that we are at different political wavelength, and that was purely governmental affair to some extent. So we didn't want to mix things up. But I was there. We enjoyed 3 long devils. They call it Geo devils, and then the short one all came from the Geo sector. So our people were entertained for the first time after several years. Yeah. So I mean, it was really traditional. It was well, attended, and I was there. So we dealt with it. DK, you killed it.
Yeah, the man that Chile. But we'll move to like Monrovia. We'll go back to Nima when it comes to District 8 there. That will be our last topic. But Montserrat or Monrovia, Liberia. This government, the current government, ran on this whole drugs issue. Kush. That was the major manifesto they used to defeat CDC. And they used it brilliantly. And they ran CDC out of leadership. Now they are being faced with this, as Senator Koga would say, the drugs level has gone to a PhD level now in Liberia. Yeah. That's how you put it. And it's becoming very disturbing. Is very embarrassing. The security sector is all trenched into this. NSA folks, the police folks. I even read something today where the deputy superintendent at the prison in Monrovia there used his phone for those 2 cartels to use and call to Colombia, and then they were able to give money and all that stuff. That tells you that shows you how entrenched this is, how bad it is. And now I said this on the show several times that Washington is not going to sit by and watch this happen and let Liberia be a big drug dealing, trafficking country. I don't think they will let that happen. After I said that, now we've learned that we have some agents in Liberia from the U.S. who are helping with the investigation. This is getting scary, Honorable. I know you've been following it. What's your take on this so far, and how would you grade this government, the way in which they are doing it and President Barker when it comes to his leadership on this whole drug issue?
Well, thank you. You are correct that this is troubling, and think it is even if there's anything more than troubling, that would be the best description of what is obtaining. It's troubling because the West does not take drug or trafficking lightly. And for a country that was founded on the principle of the West and the Christian principle, whose coming into being was also because of the role America played and the rest of it, to have been embroiled into where we are today, we can only pray that our government will handle it the manner in which it won't be itself implicated. And so the fact that some arrests have been made, to me, it speaks volume. We don't want to read anything into it. People are saying that most of the people who are being arrested are not the kind of people that are able to bring this thing here. But again, maybe during the investigation, some of the real mover and shakers will be named. But for as it stands, so long some arrests, more than a dozen have been made, and we hope they can be indicted. And from what we've been hearing, that even the running government is requesting that those people be tried outside of Liberia so that they can be safe from other interferences. So these are the kind of things we're looking for. But it's troubling because the magnitude of what is obtaining qualifies Liberia right away for almost being declared a pariah state or a narcotic state.
Narcotic state, yeah.
Which is going to which will speak volume as far as our international relation is concerned. And so the best thing we can do now is to extricate the country's image from what is happening. So even if it is whoever involved, let them be named and seen, and so that we can have a country that we can be proud of. Otherwise, any attempt for us to cover up and the investigation is a show, and sanctions start flying here and there, and the rest of it, and even those people who spend so much money to bring this kind of huge quantity, truckload of contrabands in our country, when these things are exposed the way it is done, what would be their own reaction to those that made them to understand that they have control over the country? All of those things we have implication on our own security and our own international image. So I can only tell the government kudos for opening up their arms, arresting people, and indicting them. And we hope they will do everything diplomatically to ensure that the biggest policeman in the world, which is America, which is really interested in what is happening in her, do we call it stepchild? Because America, Liberia is America's stepchild. With all the way we are getting little or nothing from the relationship, but the very fact that we still have that cordiality, I think we should keep it as that. But if we have to do something that they will start getting afraid of us, they will place us in certain category that will make a lot of things to not go our way. And so it's really troubling. Those that feel that they can make quick money, that open their arms to this kind of thing, because the quantity of drugs that they brought here, we don't even have the resources to buy all of them to use them. So it was
it was not meant to be used in Liberia. They're just transiting.
So obviously, so that issue of transiting, using this place as a transshipment point, to me, is the one we want to get to the bottom of it. So I still have the same reprehension as others are having, and the sooner we can get to the bottom, the better it is. And so, we are in a global village now. Just by having the core records alone, who did you talk to the past 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? I mean, there's no way you can hide now. And so it's better for those who are involved to make themselves available now. Because I don't care what you do. People have even gotten to the bottom. They have gotten in contact all the drug barons and all the connections. People know who you're talking to. Even those guys that are being arrested, who in Liberia have you been talking to? For you to keep this thing, take it to the house, bring it from the airport to carry back, to place it on a ship, to go to Europe, and all of those things. Who have you been talking to? I'm sure those that are interested in getting to the bottom of this thing have gotten enough information that they can use to indict these people and have them convicted so that the country can be clear. It may not, this thing may not be just the past 2 years, 3 years. Apparently, It may have started even before. So who knows? It's only through the investigation that we are expecting that we know the extent of this drug business in our country.
Thank
Especially
you.
so when this government used it to run campaign and successfully the people bought the idea. And the very people who bought the idea and voted you, if they are not seeing you showing magnanimity in addressing this thing, and we're trying to do like there's a cover up, it will really create problem for our government in time to come.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it is very serious, like you said. You know, you couldn't have said it better. And people forget to know that when it comes to drug issue, it's an international thing, and people are watching. So you can hide all you want. You can, you know, as time goes by, you know, I'm in finance. There's something, you know, AML, anti money laundering practice people follow. You know, when it comes to that, the easier way to catch them is through their money movement. You know, follow the money. When you follow the money, you will, you will definitely get to know what's happening here. And most of the people that are doing the stuff, they are being used, and they really don't know how money laundering is tracked, how movement of money is done, and how when it comes to drug trafficking, when it comes to drugs, I think Liberia is so small, unsophisticated enough to be able to do it like the other countries. So a lot of people will fall victim unintentionally, you know, due to poverty. You know, somebody come to you with small money, and then you blind your eye, and then you get involved. You start moving money here and there. The next thing you know, you're part of it. So Liberia is so small. The technology there is, you know, subpar. Is not something that can even invade anything. In the US here, they got everything. They got all the stuff. They can still go out there and still get there. So I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to hide anything. And I also believe that the fact that the U.S. and other international communities are involved is also helping when it comes to the rest. One guy, the guy that had that has the private bar in Liberia there, Monrovia there, they said they have been eating him for a long time, and they charge him today. You think if it was not because of the work the security forces doing in connection or collaboration with the international community, that would happen? I seriously doubt it. I doubt it.
No.
I don't think it would happen. But let's turn over to you, your question on this whole drugs thing. I know you've been following religiously, and you have plenty to say about it.
Yeah, religiously. Yeah, I
Were
mean,
you
we do
scared?
we have to do we have to do our old man having further discussion with our old man and educating us, and I mean coming up with his own opinion on things. And I know Honorable Yankwe to be demographer, right? Yeah, from the demographic department, I think. But he's not and if in my I may say maybe I may not be right, he's not an environmentalist. But my question here is if Liberia really equipped enough, or the manner in which those drugs were disposed, was that a proper way to dispose it? Was it environmentally, friendly, or does it really have would it have long-term impact on Liberia? Or I mean, seriously, was that a proper way to dispose drugs, if I may ask?
Well, I don't really know what transpired prior to putting fire onto it, but those who have been speaking about it from hindsight have since said that it's environmentally unfriendly, that the level of intoxication or contamination that the air was exposed to might affect some people. We have the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. We don't know to what extent they were consulted so that could be done. In fact, people are even suggesting that the government of Liberia should have mounted an incinerator where they would burn the thing, and then it would take care of the smoke, and then would transform it into something else. But to have done it in an open air, I think it was ill-advised. I don't know what was the reason behind it. Well, apparently, I don't know, maybe there was some chemical that was applied to make sure that the smoke and the whatever comes out of it is not going to be infectious. So from layman point of view, assuming that that was not done, it was environmentally unfriendly. And we got a scientist now that is heading the EPA. Unlike the past where we have an economic professor heading it, we have a man who had it all in environmental science. And so if he is around, and then they drug the EPA, the DEA people, the police, and all of them being around for some time with this kind of thing, I'm sure it made some consultation. Nothing a chemical was applied on it prior to it being burned, so that it can reduce the level of toxicity to the environment. Then it was a disservice to the environment. But maybe one of you people can contact Dr. Yakpaulo as to the scientific or from the official position of the EPA on the kind of the level of exposure of the environment to what transpired. But it was a huge misstep, so to speak. So now that we have established now that Liberia is one of the major routes through which drug is being channeled, even if this current investigation is going to put an end to it, we need to prepare for war in time of peace. We need to build one incinerator for the disposal of these kind of dangerous and harmful substance among us, because that could something that could come back to the community in different forms. And so we hope we didn't have to do this again, but it was really ill-advised. That's my position on it.
Thank you. The people may everybody over there in the house, they're in there.
Exactly.
everybody. It was on the New York Times, one of the leading media institution here in the U.S. And they posted on that page. When you go to the comment section, almost everybody was questioning that why they had to do it that way. It was not. So I don't know. It was something that again, they did that, and a lot of people have a reservation about that. DK, my man, over to you. You've been following us, so I know you will not come ask questions that we've already discussed. So you've been serving now for a little while. So we have our women. We are just learning. We having discussion here, history. We just
the way we get our runaway panelist from Iowa came today. I'm so excited. I know he was waiting for the old man to come.
No,
anyway, welcome, father-in-law.
I came to tell my woman hi.
Yes, Uncle Larry. But the drugs thing, I know most of us here have family members who are being impacted by the usage of the drugs thing in Liberia. So sometimes when the drugs thing is being discussed, it hit me personally, because I know the impact it has on family members that are very dear to me. The impact is have on them. So are there any suggestions that you think the government can use to help? Because, say for instance, even when DEA arrests, there should be place for government for rehabilitation. Not every time you arrest drug user, you take them to South Beach. So are there any suggestions? Are there any place in the world that people have used the system to rehabilitate people who are drug users across Africa, let's say in West Africa, that we can use their example? And like I said, it's once I'm saying this, I know as I speak, I know how many family members I have that are impacted by this thing. Yeah.
Oh yes, the sooner we look at the petty consumers of drugs as victims instead of perpetrators, the better we will be in the fight against drug in our society. However, there was a senator in the United States whose daughter or son was found consuming drugs.
Oh yeah.
Because of the way they handle it, I think it was made known that people who use marijuana and things should not be considered as people that should be prosecuted. They are victims. People should talk about reorientating them, rehabilitating them instead of saying, because These petty boys on the street, the Zogos, where do they have money from to send for cocaine or heroin or other heavy quantity? So they have been victimized because of the way society had been lackadaisical with this war. You know that this whole drug business came here because of our war. People brought it to make the children to be motivated to fight. Then later on, when the peacekeeping force itself came, they have exclusive control over our borders. And these guys, I mean, they felt that it was a quick way of making money. So these are some of the legacies the war left with us. And now politicians to jump in and to make sure that this become a very vibrant business entity for them. That's why I reached to the magnitude expense beyond this particular leadership. It may predate even the real administration. It's a post-war scenario that is only being magnified now because of apparently the manner in which actors in our community and openly allow it to prosper. So I don't really have hands-on information as to what is transparent in other places. But there are some efforts being made. I think you've been hearing that the Senator Monserrato has a small program where they have been bringing those people on board and rehabilitating them and graduating them. And I understood the government itself is trying to open such facility. So we have the EJ grant, one of the areas that Dr. Grant, the late was a psychologist or something, that he established that in the Dubo Road area, and that have been attached to JFK, even though it's a private entity. And so I think you are right. There must be a grant program, not only to send those people to jail, but a place where we'll carry them after we have neutralized them. Then, of course, they become productive by the kind of vocation that they will be exposed to, so that they can come by and be productive citizens. Instead of looking at them as perpetrators, they should be looked at as victims. And so I appreciate the international community involvement, maybe in their trail after they have done what they're supposed to do. These are some of the things that will be left behind. And the government itself does not have to wait for international support. We can have 1.2 billion, even if we have only 1.0 billion, depending on how we look at the budget, how we look at the allocation of our money. We can derail our human resources. 2 or 3 generations are at risk of being obliterated. Even some of them live, they will live as people who are inundated with drugs, who cannot do anything effective. So we end up being like in the 60s, the 50s, where bulk of the people, the Warabis, the Akinshola, all those different Nigerian and Ghanaians are really need you here in our community is because when Liberia was coming of age, they didn't have the manpower. So people had to reach to the Togo, the Sierra Leones, the Ghana and Nigeria, and bring in professors and people who meant even our ministries, agencies, because we didn't have the manpower. Now we have manpower. For bulk of our children are going down the drain with the introduction of drugs in our community. So it has more ramifications than we can envisage now. And so by the time people like us, all of us who are in our 50s, 60s, 70s, by the time we give way now, our young people who are coming, a few of them that are in the diaspora and trying to be with us in Morovia and Little. But all of the people who are in the rural area, go to Banga, Ganta, all the places, drugs are gone, even all over in our community, even my own hometown, people who are consuming those things. Because though it's not the level at which we're talking about, but who knows? We inundate the entire country one of these days. So what is happening now? It's a wake-up call, and I hope people put their feet down. When the real people are handled the way they should, people will be afraid to make sure these things are brought in this country. So the best solution is local. Let's establish a center where we can rehabilitate those people. You deal with them medically, you detox or detox them, and then from there, when they come to themselves, then you teach them what they need to do, hands-on vocation, so that they can go carpenter, hairdressing, whatever it is. And from what I'm hearing from the Senator Delon's center and the other center, I think the children are appreciating the effort that have been made. So considering that as a demonstration point, I hope it can be elaborated upon so that we can grab all of those guys on the street and then place there and then bring them up and then make sure that the drug trafficking does not flourish, so that our innocent children that are rapidly being brought into that particular situation can be extricated from that, and so that you can have a wholesome functioning society, given that children are the future of our country.
Before we go to District 8 here, thank you so much to everyone for following. It has been a wonderful show. I think this is actually a classroom instead of a show tonight. Yeah, we got more of a classroom. We're all learning and enjoying the tutorial and the free lesson that has been taught here tonight. No, before we go to District 8, were you surprised, or have you been surprised at the level of drugs that we are talking about in Liberia here? Now, Jira just had a story where it stated that the increase in Kush, not the cocaine we're talking about, Kush, has increased by 80% under this administration. So you remember now, this is the Kush that they were, pushing for on the CDC. Everybody was just Kush. Georgia bringing Kush, and everyone, it was just Kush. But they say it has increased by 80%. I know people are not talking about it. Everyone's focused on the cocaine stuff. Honorable Yonko, are you surprised about the level of drugs that has been transited through our country, and then the 80% increase in drugs activity under this administration that preach against drugs to this extent?
Well, I'm not surprised,
Okay.
considering that the drug issue was not only used as a tool to undo the previous government, but even upon assuming power, the very government that used to depose a government legally, electorally, and still found wanting in trying to address the issue of drugs. You have a permanent minister in finance in other places, but drugs that's supposed to be fought with every ounce of our strength does not have a genuine leadership. We have always had acting. Some are in the leadership transition are being even in a bizarre manner. Who will really be serious about fighting drugs that cannot even find one of their sons or daughters to be officially confirmed to handle this? And so this is one area that I feel that because we have dropped the ball on this particular issue, there is no doubt that the level of freedom that the drug peddler have had in the country that have led to the magnitude of the crime being why it is, it can only be attributed to the particular lack of focus on putting people in place. What is that supposed to be? So I'm not surprised, because the president started on a very good footing. I can remember he took a drug test and he made his principal deputy to take the drug test. But we are expecting it to be mandatory for the ministers and everybody else to do, so that we can even, how much a sniffing door, I call it a sniffing door, where we go to New York and Washington Airport, these doors come around and instead out there. But you have checkpoints all over our rural area. The motorcyclists are just there. The police just collecting money. Why in no bed? Nobody knows. For us to be serious about drugs in this country, the road from Mano River Bridge into Pool River Junction, we need one sniffing door there to take care of Bapulu, Bombe, and the rest of it. If it is Salala Gate, we need to have one there. You can do all your things, Banga, Ganta Gate, anywhere else. When you reach that place, we come to the capital city. A lot of things. Put a few $1 million around this thing, and then you strengthen your backyard. Then at the airport, and the free port, and the zero port of entry, those people that will use the illicit point of entry, well, that make it difficult for them. Because even if you bring the team on a boat in Rossville or whateverville, Cape More, or anywhere in the bushes, Ganta or anything, before you come to the capital city where the real resources, where the money is, where the international airport is, at least you will have something to contend with, Banga Gate or Sarada Gate or Clay something or Ralphie and the rest of it. So to me, since we want to really make sure we emancipate our country from being a drug transit country, which will endanger our future in a community of nations. These are the kind of things we need to do. But I'm not surprised because up to this time, the president has been changing the director general, the deputy director. Sometimes he can clear everybody and put some people there, clear them up to this time. Even our brothers are there. Most of the time, the issue of the drug, it is the police director that is speaking. I don't know why people who are in charge of fighting drug cannot be the one to speak. They say that it just place them there. They are not really technically endowed. What is happening? And so these are issues. So to me, the moment we have not been able to put the rightful people there to give them the confirmation power, to give them the do that, and then we give them the equipment. Yeah, equipment like the dogs I talk about, or other equipment of detecting contrabands at the port of entry and other places. And we just sitting down here, Liberia will continue to really be in the long haul of waiting for something to happen. I'm not surprised at all because of the way we handle the drug situation in the country.
And for me too, personally, I think Honorable Yonkwe, we can have all the equipment, all the sniffing dogs, and all this thing, but if the big people who are up there are calling the shot and allegedly being part of it, it makes it very, very harder for anything to happen. If you look at it, you'll see that the security sector, the folks who are supposed to be protecting us against this, they are the ones who, some of them have been charged and forwarded to the Ministry of Justice. Even the IG, the police inspector general, he had a press conference not too long ago and clearly stated that there are some big dogs in the hierarchy of this government who are part of it. So it makes it harder when country like Liberia, when you have big people there part of it, and then the little men down here, you're giving command to them to escort things and things happen. It's sad. But I agree with you. At some point in time, we have to break that barrier, and we have to instill sanity in our country, because if not, Liberia is so small and poor that drugs will wipe out the next generation. We will not even be able to control it. Welcome to the show, Sam. I know you came late. We are almost finishing here. We got Honorable Yonkwe here. We are going to Nima County now to his district. I know Honorable Yonkwe has said over and over again he's going to be contesting 2029. So we will go there. This one part I'm not teaching you. This one part I will come and question you now. Oh man, the other one you taught us, they will question you. So your current the person that you will be going against is the chairman for the caucus. What has been the working relationship between both of you? I know it was a little hectic there at some point in time. You are doing your work over there in District 8 with CMC. How's things going there? What's the prospect? How's everything looking at? I know you're a politician, you can gauge things. What are the chances? What people saying about your re-election, the numbers? You are a numbers guy.
Well, they say man proposes and God disposes. I propose that I want to go back and make my contribution to society. It's like we've got to dispose it through our people. So the election is more than 3 years away. So from August to October, August, September, October. So you got 3 years, 3 months away. And so it's a huge amount of time for people to prepare for those kind of things. So that's it. I'm not really going against anybody. I'm going for the seats, because by the time we'll be going for election, the seat will be vacant, even though people will be occupying it, but they will be in transition. So that by the time the seat is declared vacant or campaign is declared officially, all seats will be vacant. Even those that will be there, they will not say, "Oh, I'm already here, I'm running." No, you have to register, you have to pay affidavit, you have to register again, bring your tax return. You just they will deal with you like any other person, even though you still be attending session, getting your benefits. So we're not going against anybody, because that's the first time the seat will be declared vacant that anybody can register. Relationship wise, we are okay. At least we are enjoying some briefer. There's a ceasefire. My position as a statesman and not to force with anybody in the district. So whenever my name is called in a demeaning and unsupportive way, then we come into set record straight. But as long as we are moving cool, we are cool. I'm more focused on working with my political party. CNC is doing well in my district. For example, over 495 solar lights were distributed in the month of, I think, May or June in Bana area, Vicino area, and Kokopa. And I think the ones for example in Bay are being packaged. As soon as the political leader returns from the stage, I hope we can do something so that we can go and complete. I recently, in Flompa headquarters, the citizens want to build a modern town hall. They acquire a piece of land from the traditional people, a forest that has been in existence for more than 100 years. They needed the intervention of the political leader to provide yellow machine, and those were provided. And that place is clear now, and the building has been drawn up. The architecture design has been made. Sooner or later, there will be groundbreaking. In my own hometown, as a research politician, our people saw it fit to use me as an ad hoc project head to do some rehabilitation of our road, especially the covers. We just completed one that the delegation used to have their meeting in Ipo. So these are areas. Besides that, we're working with our people as farmers to ensure that at least on short-term job are provided whenever they have to do 1 or 2 weeks to have something in their pockets to solve some immediate problem. I've instructed my people to work with them. And so that's what we are doing in the district. There's no time for active politicking except where our political leader is invited to pay visit. So the similar visit that we did in Buyao, which took us to Bitle, to Nyao and Glole, and Diaple, and then Utu, whereas Flore, where we concluded. It was on the behest of the former candidate who wanted to tell his people thank you and declare massive by officially joining the party. Honorable Mayor and us being around for some time. He had been our development superintendent. Prior to that, we knew one another in Monrovia. And so he one cool gentleman that I never offended anybody during his tenure. So when he decided to join the party, we also went to his home. And so we've been working together. Now we are expecting another visitation somewhere else, which I won't disclose, but we've been in Bomber Hills, we've been in Grand Gide, and most of the things our political leader said he would do during dry season, we are expecting that to happen. So that's basically what it is, and the mission is to popularize the party among the citizenry, for him to give them a vision and mission, so that at the appropriate time, nobody's going to be buying pig in the bag. Because for so long, people have bought pig in the bag. You don't know whether it's brown, it's black and white, or at least when you tell people the stuff you are made of, and then as a politician, you make your statement, you should be able to stand by it. Because whether you like it or not, you will be judged by it. And so the fact that he is very forceful in expressing why he wishes for this country can be changed. But the moment any government takes over, it will change the structure of our budget. Nothing. Before you know, you already know 6 years down what will happen. You have the first part position in this country taking more than 20% of the budget. Finish. And a lot of things need to be put into place. And the way to deal with this country is how we handle our meager resources. As long as the budget structures remain the same, no, we're not going to go anywhere. So a government that will use executive order to pass the first budget that Donald Trump did after taking power, he just started executive order. There's one executive order. And the president that will take over, he said, look, my first budget will be through executive order. We will make sure everybody's budget is brought to salary and benefits brought to this level. And we take what we are saving and make sure no child sits on the floor. No school. Imagine, local people are challenged. Even some representatives and senators are being forced to build a roof of buildings that have been blown up, even though they are government schools. Community buildings turned over to government. A lot of unsanitary situations at hospitals and schools around here. DEOs and CEOs or everyone. Sometimes they sit down helplessly. Right now in Gipo, we have some money for community. We just gave over $350 to the school. It's not enough. We need more than $3,000 to rebuild the school, which is paid by government. And many other places all over. I'm just giving people because that's my home. You know, so the budget is not speaking to those places. And you still got chiefs that got clerk that are not on payroll. And that one clan chief alone can't do anything, but there are people there. So many things that need to be addressed. The moment we're not looking at it and we just approve huge budget and remain in Morovia, you're not going to go anywhere. The standard of living of the people will still be the way it is. So these are the kind of things that we believe that our presence as National Vice Chair for Statistics, Data and Research is elucidating and recording time for us to do our manifesto. These are the kind of things that we be advised in the political party to do so that when you speak to the issue and they can see you showing that you're capable of doing it, I think the citizen will think otherwise. But if you just want the one there to be put out so that new one can go into the old bottle, the same condition will persist. So basically, the way we put ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful show. Cyrus, we have Honorable Yonkwe here. I know you joined us late. Over to you. If you have questions for him, you can ask. If not,
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining in a little bit late. I've been running around doing some other stuff today, and I fell asleep. I gotta look at my time and say, "Wow, it's time to join." But however, it is always good to be here. Good to see other people that you haven't seen for a long time. Honorable Yonkwe, it's good to see you. But
Thank
my question to you is, what you think you're gonna do different this time around than what you have not done before? Because I know you have served in this position before. What do you left? I mean, what did you leave undone that you think you can do it right at this time? Or what did you do wrong before you think you can make the corrections at this time? And why want to go into the position at this time?
Well, whenever I'm asked this question, I say, it's not what did I leave that I'm going for to do. It's simply what I started doing that has been left undone that I want to go and continue. Advocacy. Advocacy that is bringing liberation to our people economically is what I'm going for. For example, under my watch, the Cocoa Park company, which is closer to most of us who are from Lower Nimba, it came in 1949 and acquired over 145,000 acres. It started with coffee, they went to cocoa, then later on they are in rubber. And that particular piece of land had been there. I did something in Liberia that no politician has ever done. This year, 2026, is 100 years solid since Firestone King. It's time for 1 million acre. Not a single acre has been reduced from that quantity. This Larry Yonkwe was able to take that 125,000 acres away from the company. And today, the current concession is only enjoying 12,800 acres, or about 4,600 hectares. Nobody has ever done that. The government will take land appropriate to a company, and a lawmaker will come and ensure that those lands are released and given back to our people. So, but currently, there's huge quantity of money that will be going to our people through what is written there. They were giving 6 cents per acre, 6 cents per acre, but now they are giving $5 United States per hectare. So that transformation, and 1% of every sale come to the community. All of those kind of major things is one thing to pass a law and one thing to work with the people to ensure that that law comes to pass. Do I sit down what we fought for 30 to go there for the benefit of people for 30 years to go to waste simply because nobody here that has interest in pushing it? No. If I had been there, ArcelorMittal law would be different. People fought. There were a lot of people who made speeches, who passed around here. We were added to them to make sure that the same way we were able to deal with the Cocoa Park concession, something like that will happen. The local government, I championed it when I was chairman of governance for 9 years. at the level of the House. Those laws passed under our watch. The implementation is on now. 20% revenue being left in the country, in the country of origin, which we're lucky enough to receive 200 million for signature bonus. Our 20% that should have gone out of that money, nobody is talking about it, except for Honorability, who is talking about it. So issues like this, you will not want to sit down you want to be a big country for nothing, be for nothing country? The issues must be raised. And the Supreme Court is that to even receive us. As a lawmaker, you can issue writ of mandamus on any government that is failing to do what it should do. You get access. That's why the 10 branches there. That's why they are not political. The executive and the legislative are the two political branches of government. What comes out of them, if they are not able to resolve it among themselves, you go to the court and the court speak to it. And so you go for mandamus rate to compel the government of Liberia to give out 20%. And then we go back to our country council and present what we need to do with it. And then we develop our place. Look at Saglepi, look at Bam, look at Ganta. We need to have paved roads in these places, can't play. And our major junior towns like Kwetu, Grade, Ziongen, and Bibi Town, Queen, and other places. Nothing happening. So these are issues. You can't do them when you are outside. You can't do that when you are cabinet minister. You have to have some insulation from interferences or insecurity to do this. That's why even in our advanced ages, we still believe that we need to be there with the young people to mentor them. Basically, that's why I say I'm not really going against anybody. I'm going for something that will benefit my country. Then, with us having a vice president, then we make his work less acrimonious. Because he can't speak for us now to the president, we need our people money. No. We now will be at the lower level, at the level of the caucus, putting our issue on the floor, and then he will be able to put cold water on it or transmit it better to the head of state who can do something about it. But otherwise than that, if we don't have the wherewithal to raise these critical issues and galvanize our people to rally around their common interest, and we'll be sitting the way we're sitting, there are a lot of things to be achieved. Then what I'm talking about, articulating, we've been talking about the big things, but the low-hanging fruits. We want to have a country that got every child sitting on a bench, that every child has an instructor that can give them the education they want. The emphasis is not on teaching now, it should be on learning. What are the gadgets you have? What are the level of exposure your instructors are? What are the equipment they have? We can do that, especially when we have something to sit with. I spent 12 years.
But Larry, one may say this sounds like a political lecture or political classroom. The fact that somebody might mute for me, please.
I did it for you.
No, I don't think so. Somebody still mute. So, thank you. So, for the past years, you served in this house. I believe you start from Unity Party, now to ANC. From ANC, now you with Musa Ability to CMC. Very low, all these good things you're saying, like child right, someone got to be there. Is this now a time for you to say, take a break, and say, mentor those folks that are coming in? Because life is about pushing each other forward. And some of the young people from the district, you push them, and the one you think is the best to encourage those folks to run instead of you want to go back again. And then to me, it's concerning that nothing is going to be done different unless salaries has gone low, unless pocket has gone dry. Is that a right saying or what right word?
If the children are available to be mentored, like maybe you don't know this, until the American people can withdraw their fundings. I was one of the first veterans, the UCA had a project in Liberia that were mentoring lawmakers that are 35 years and below. And they went for those lawmakers that served before that were still around to mentor the younger ones. I was one of those called upon. I think our representative from District 4 was my mentee. He was assigned to me. Some of the young folks were assigned to the likes of Clarence Massaquoi, Kafia, Councillor Dorbo Kuku, Chito over the young female from Cape Mount. And we were supposed to be mentoring them as to how to raise issue on the floor, how to research around legislative matters and the rest of it. They were just encouraging us with gas slip and the rest of it. As soon as Donald Trump said we were forced that we wrote on the same from now on, the project has stopped. The very first few seconds. What I'm saying is that we've been mentoring people already, albeit on a pro bono basis. But we want to do it in a more consolidated and sustainable way by being there and doing. Boss man, don't question my stewardship. You were there when I was fighting, so Nimba people money cannot go to waste. When the only instrument we needed to establish to take care of our money was the PMC election being done in a legal manner. When people went and hijacked the process and put their own people there, I was thinking that I was fighting for 5 million or so. But now the audit report shows that 12.5 million went into Breeze. But I didn't take it there. I went to Circuit Court because I wanted to issue rates directly to the Supreme Court for declaratory judgment. But I was advised that if you did so and they refused to issue it, you are done. So I started with the Circuit Court in Senegal. After the case was adjudicated, they told us the presidency can only be judged by the full bench because the superintendent, once the superintendent is involved, the full bench needed to hear the case. So I took the case, me, Koga, I took it to the Supreme Court, Supreme Court. And so my role as the legislature should not be something that anybody can question. Package being dry, even those that are currently there, when they all meet somewhere, everybody complaining about package being dry. So don't go there with me. It's more about stewardship. Why I'm not fighting for ministerial position, why I'm not fighting for, I've been in the classroom, I saw coordinator for 5 years, I've been to, most of the people who were in class, who were at the Capitol Benin with us were our students, some of them became senators and the rest of it. So, it's not about pocket, no pocket. We'll always be there. Even God himself knows that there will always be poor people among us. That's what Jesus said, the dead bury the dead. What are the living have to do with the dead? And when they were trying to be hypocritical to say, why you pour perfume on Jesus' feet and wipe his feet with your hair, couldn't you use the money to give it to the poor? Jesus said, the poor will always be with you. So poverty business, pocket being dry, pocket not being dry, hey, it's a normal life. But what we are talking about, so long we have breath inside, air in us to breathe, we have to play our role. So, boss man, even if I hold stick, I will win and go in our house and play the role as we will play until God calls me. If the people feel that I'm not able to do so, I will accept it. And we'll still be around and appearing on your show to still educate our children.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Yonkoi. This has been a wonderful show. Elijah, you want to say something? We gotta let the honorable go. What is it?
So open my phone, keep closing. Yeah. So I guess I have one or two questions for the old man.
Don't forget two. The old man gotta go.
Yeah,
let me get one. Yeah.
The old man is a politician. So now we were discussing with him as a teacher. Now we're discussing with him as a politician.
Yeah,
so,
we keep teaching now. We're going to the political.
Yes. Go to the political aspect. And so, thank you so much, Honorable Yonkoi. And I appreciate you. I've interacted with you several times when on the campus of the University of Liberia, serving as chairman on the Nimakani Scholarship Committee. You're one of those who contributed towards the student community, and I appreciate you for that. And my question here is, I got two questions. One is, as a demographer, I think I may be right if I should say that. I know it to be demographer. I'm tend to be corrected.
You are right.
Okay. And looking at Nima population right now, And we are hearing from Grapevine that if there should be slot, representative slot distribution, NEMA will receive 2 slots. And if it is so, is that 2 slots enough per NEMA or population? And if it is not, what are you doing as a demographer and a politician and an activist as well, outside of the government? I know you are not a representative today, but yet I think you can still work. What are you doing practically, not by just saying? What are you doing practically in making sure that NEMA receive most slots per her population? And my final question is: you did mention of you know you advocate when you go there that no child will sit on a block, or every child will sit on the bench to in classroom. So then my question is, were all of the children in your district sitting on a seat by then, on a bench by then, when you were there? And then after you left today, they are not sitting on the bench again because of poor leadership of your predecessor, a predecessor? Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Let me start with the last. In accounting, they have LIFO, last in, first out. And then we get FIFO, first in, first out. So I will start with LIFO. Oh, well, I did not insinuate, neither did I expressly say that things were better and they have gone out of order. These were the battles we had, and we did not complete to fit harder where we are. There, certainly, all children were not seated on benches. All hospitals didn't have needed drugs. We did what we could, but we felt that by this time it could have been better. So our absence has even degenerated, had caused more situation to degenerate. That's what I'm saying. So I didn't come here as a saint. The issue about the seats that have been thrown around, it is as illegal as it is unconstitutional. The only way to decide which country has what seat or how many seats is through the provision of the Constitution that says following a census and immediately before the next election, the legislature shall prescribe a threshold that will be forwarded to the Election Commission to demarcate electoral constituency. You look in the Constitution, you don't see electoral district, you see constituencies. So what is wrong with our 2022 census? In the first place, the 2022 census predated the 2023 election. So using the 2022 census to have demarcation of constituency now is illegal and is unconstitutional, because the census was held before the election that ensued. So unless there is a gentleman agreement, which is also unconstitutional, that document can no longer stand the test. But that is what we have. But I forewarn this country that considering what I know about what is obtaining at the census house, if we allow it to go, we'll get no more than 20% of the expected result. But what we have is what we have. But then why is the legislature shying away from using the Constitution to demarcate constituency? So to just sit and say, Nimba takes 2 seats, Bron takes 2 seats, Grandchildren take 1, Bassa and Magibi take 1. It is illegal as it is unconstitutional. So the only way out, what am I doing, is to sensitize our people. I have called on our lawmakers at the level of the country to go and make a case. And what I'm saying now, I'm sure most of our people are listening to it. I'm sensitizing people. That's the only thing I have. Like they would tell the Jesus follower will say, "Stay and go, have I not such I give you in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk." What I have is to pass knowledge onto the people, to energize their lawmakers to stand firm. So you now have to fight for just on legal ground. Don't throw 2 seats at all. Right now, even the statement of 20,000 votes we have, even if the legislature can set 50,000 as the threshold per representation, NIMBA will end up with 12.4 seats, which means currently, with all the number that we don't satisfy with, we have 3 additional seats given to us. Meaning that some of the candidates that got seats that are sitting on will lose that seat. So we don't have 0.4 human beings, so that 0.4 we give it to another candidate that we add up to make either maintain their number or have additional seats. But the 3 seats, nothing will happen to it. If you do that one and you do that one with grant candidate 400,000, you would know that they will have small increment. Lofa with 387,000. You just juxtapose the threshold onto the raw data that are available. That one made us demograph. So we speak scientifically. That's the only thing the lawmakers have to do is to set that threshold. Then the election commission will not work in vacuum. They will deal with the legislators who have what we call locality population. Everywhere in Liberia, any locality has population. When it's 50,000, you will be put it together until when you have exhausted it, the rest that remain, you take it and send it to the nearby district, and you make sure you get your 50,000 and you start demarcating the constituency. It is the election commission that will use legislators as the technical arm of government to do the delineation of constituencies. Not people sitting there on the Capitol building and say, let this one take one, this one take two. No, it is unconstitutional. So even if you want to use the current census result to set threshold, the election for which that should have been used has passed. So the government should look for money now and conduct census. Even if it means they should hire some of us as consultants to conduct it for them in a cost-effective way, just so we can have raw data and have our threshold determined for electoral delineation to be done where nobody will feel cheated. But until that can be done, there will be serious repercussion. That issue of joint resolution was in 2008 when we conducted the census. And most of the argument from the Southeast and other places was that the country was not safe. Bulk of the population was on the mainstream from Yikipa all the way to Monrovia, where accessibility was there, security was there. So you keep Lofa and all fair that the whole Bapulu was in Bon County to that area coming to Tottenham Farmway. Bulk of the refugee center were all around Monserrato and things. So people in the Southeast said that no, the people could not go by home. So that kind of Supreme Court said, look, then you can use it only for developmental purpose, but for constituency demarcation, you people can use whatever means in terms of joint resolution. That's how that resolution business came. But war has since ended since 2003. We have had several elections. People have gone back. If they are living in the city, they're living out of choice. They're living there at will. They're not there they're living there because they want to. But those days in 2008, they were forced to remain where security was assured. So what is the basis for saying now you cannot go back to the constitution to demarcate constituency? So if my law, because I honor my vote, especially the senator who have not yet passed on this is where they need to be talking about. There must be some deliberation, some conversation around this. It is illegal and it is unconstitutional. The census was taken before 2023 election. If we didn't use it, we finish with it. We need more. We still have time. You can put the brains together now and conduct census at the end of next year or mid next year and have document, look at it for us. The census will be done now through electronic gadgets. So you're not coming to bring people to town for people to sit down around to come up with an analysis frame. As you are recording the people on the gadget is coming on a server ledges as UNFPA. The server is automatically updating the numbers for localities, and immediately after that, result can be out in less than 2-3 weeks, and then people will know where we are, and then the analysis for development purposes can continue. But these are the issues. So politically, and I'm speaking now as a scientist, when it comes to the digital issue, we cannot do what we are doing. But if we agree, let's use the census 2022 census, then let's set a threshold. NIMBA will have minimum 3 seats and not 2. And the other people who they get 3 seats, they will end up with 1 seat. And those who get 1 seat will end up with no seat. Those that got some seats that they don't deserve will lose it. The benefit the big country will get at the lower house will be offset by the disadvantage they are having at the upper house. Nimba with almost 1 billion population, if you consider all the people that spread all over Liberia, got only 2 votes. Whereas small countries that got only 60,000, 75,000, they got 2 votes at the level of the Senate. And so if they cannot pass on this one, they too, at the lower house, they will find it difficult too. And so what is the fear? The Constitution is speaking to it. If you don't do your constitutional responsibility, some of us from big country will go to the court to issue writ on the legislature to pass. What we call Madamus. You can't sit down on it. Use the Constitution to set the threshold. And if you are not doing it and you're sitting down, then you are part of the problem and you're not part of the solution. The whole argument, we need a small country, the small country, we need their cooperation, so therefore we got no. Equally so, we are at a disadvantage at the lower house when the senators are voting. While at the lower house, we too can use our majoritarian advantage to get what we want. So if our lawmakers can hold us near us to sensitize them on this issue and tell them how best they can do it, and also politically and what they can do in order to have what they can have for our people, and let it do that, we'll be going around and carry wrong against us until what we are. So basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm sensitizing the people, and nothing I can do beyond that. If I were having a mantle, I would go to court. Tell people, anybody that would bring anything and no man, just three out of people will go to court and go speak to it. The Constitution is clear. What is stopping us from setting threshold that lawmakers are dividing seats around here? That's my position.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful show. We learned a lot from you. You made your plan. You educated us with some historical events, historical facts. We went from Nimba County. We came to Monroeville. We went back to Nimba County. We went to District 8. And then now we are closing. I want to say thank you so much for coming. And we have the people in Butuo in District 5 that are listening to us tonight. Clinton is relaying from our local radio station there. So it has been, your message went across the entire district. So thank you so much. The voice of Tabata also relays us as well. It has been a
Mambuto people, you're good evening. You know, when I was there, I say, man, I say, I don't be a man. So my inland Gio, my small inland Gio, I spoke even in Florida. Yeah, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you very much. And
give us your party comment in 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll take leave of you.
Well, I think we have done what we could, and I want to thank the Vice President Office, the Minister Office for working with the chiefs to select our township as venue of their meeting, even though we didn't subscribe to all the things that they went for, but the fact that they exposed our community to talk about people who didn't have any reason to come there under normal conditions, to have come and see how our people are, whether they are hospitable or not. It was a good thing, and our people, to that cross-fertilization of culture and socialization, I think it should be allowed to go on. And that can reduce the tension. But we're all about jubilation. The politician will read the politics from inside, and the economic will read the economics from inside. But it was a good time over the gone weekend for me to be part of it from a spectator point of view. It was good. Otherwise, Nimba, let's get ourselves together. Let's fight the drug. Government, one of the areas I forgot about was I want to call our government to take the drug business serious. Somebody can be fighting drugs and they be on motorbike in a big country like Nimba. No pickups. Corruption has a way of fighting back there, as drug has a way of fighting back. And so you are chasing these boys who are using, then we must be protected. So these are some of the things I have seen in the country. Even our police is under resource in terms of logistics. So I'm using Nimba as a case study. But I hope our government can prioritize those places. They are doing their best, but the best is not good enough. So we can be a show of our own security with government using its resources to provide a wherewithal. This is where I want to end my conversation with you people. Good evening to all our people around the world and our people of Nimba. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Yonkwe. We really, really appreciate you for coming. And always, every time we call on you, you don't hesitate. As long as you were around network area, you're willing to come on and talk to us. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Cyrus. So the as we can say, you sleep carry you. So we've been here for over almost 3 hours now. So it's been a great show. Thank you so much for coming. Next time when you're sleeping, I'll call you to get you back on here. But Luscious, I want to say thanks to you too for hanging in there with me.
Yeah.
You know, all the other men ran away today. So Jackson, thank you so much. I know it's late on your side there. We gotta close the studio, but let Cyrus give us his parting comment, and then Luscious will do the same, and then you can shut down and then close the studio for tonight.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Aloysius and Justin, good to see you guys. It's been a while. Aloysius.
You know, ain't Aloysius?
Of course.
I want to put it.
So it's great to see all of you. It's amazing that we're seeing what we're seeing in our country. The drug issues is serious. This country, in my own opinion, I want to strongly believe that the government is corrupted with the drug. So it's dangerous time in our society. As a vulnerable country and loose society like this to be corrupted with drugs. How do we get out of this thing and be a clean society is a question that is lingering in my mind. Every time I see people discussing this, because I know I have studied about drugs in other countries, what drug has done to great countries and brought those countries down to zero today. The debate has been one word that has been lingering in the country, whether Liberia had turned to narco state or it's not, depending how you see it. I think whether there's, in my mind, we are close. Depending how you see the definition, we are pretty close to narco state because these drug traffickers, will not come to Liberia just because allegedly Gregory Cuomo has called them to come. Allegedly, the NSA director has called them to come. But again, we want to believe that there are people who are more powerful than either Coleman or the NSA director who could be behind these things. But we're looking forward to the investigation, what we'll uncover in this country as we turn around, and most of the things I see in this country is unusual. So we're looking forward to seeing what this country will be like in the next few months and years to come. It's every time I speak about it, it's just discouraging to even speak about the drugs situation in our country. But we want to appreciate Larry Yonkwe for coming here and want to rerun again to serve his people, provided if they will go for him at this time around. So yes, it's great to see you guys. Hopefully, if I don't fall asleep, I'll be on time tomorrow. Thank you guys.
Yeah, real quick, you didn't even talk about rerunning. I didn't want to bring that up. We started in Nima, we talk about so many history and we talk about a lot of stuff. So, you just a DK, when you kind of chat late, you can't raise on. Yes, that DK start asking the same question with us. But it was a good show. I will try to reach out to you tomorrow sooner so you can't fall asleep. I know the time difference is killing you in that place, but you'll get used to it. Well, Yahoo, my man, give us talk to the boiler people. Give us your party comment so we can let Clinton to leave.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. And I just want to tell all of you, you and the rest of the panelists who have been, maintaining this show. Some are all now will becoming a visitor now, which is not good. Yeah. But we appreciate all of you, man. It's a fight, and we continue on to open our community and talk about Liberia and make the community better for everybody. So thank you so much to every one of you. And my people, Uncle Sam, I don't know when you coming to Des Moines. So we're expecting you.
Is it another?
So
But but God's willing, I'll be back.
okay,
Yo,
yeah.
hello.
Yeah. So Clinton, thank you so much too for helping our people to hear us and be part of the happening within the country and the world at large. And my brother people, you got woman. But with the drugs issue, for me, I believe this government is not ready to fight drugs. They just joking. They are fighting to gain recognition for international community. I don't know, in my opinion, they are fighting the big drugs now. There's a fight on the big drugs, which they are not even doing it the way it's supposed to go. That is, people have not fully been prosecuted. People are not fully being shown to the public. When a little one is being cut with weed or something, you will see them with the pictures, you will see them discussing their houses and all of those things. But with a big one, they will sugarcoat it, they will maneuver and make it administrative, discussion, which is not good. You listen to the woman I just left, Honorable Yankwe, and that goes to every town in Nima. That every town in Nima is encountering drugs.
Oh yeah.
So I think with that behavior, with what is happening, this government should have declared national emergency on drugs. That every corner, every sector should be ready to fight drugs. They may be fighting to stop, the high level of drugs from entering Liberia. That is good. But are those drugs consumed by the locals? No, not necessarily. The drugs our children, our brother, our cousins are taking, they are local drugs. The drugs are within the smaller communities that when you fighting it will not give you public or international recognition. And so this government need to go down, equip DEA and every community in Liberia to start fighting drugs from even the village. All the villages, they need to start fighting drugs from there. Other than that, we are going to lose our youth. Our next generation going to be worse, and we ain't going to get any good thing from out of most of our youth. Some of them will stop in third grade, first grade, second grade, and that's going to be bad for Liberia. We need to take the drugs. The government need to take the drugs fight seriously for the common good of the people, not just to gain international recognition that you're fighting drugs. No, that is local feel the impact on the fight against drugs. So that is my position right now, and we need to take it serious for the good of Liberia.
Thank you so much. Again, I want to appreciate you for coming, you and Sam and Clinton as well. It has been a wonderful show. Thanks to all our followers, viewers, all the folks that have been engaged in the conversation. I know another breaking news tonight is said that it's being reported that the guy who has the private bar in Liberia that has been indicted and forwarded to the court as well. He's part of it. So it's been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. Well, hopefully our other guys can join us tomorrow so we can go deeper into the conversation. But Clinton, you want to take us home? You got your closing statement you want to give, and then from there we can call it a night.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to appreciate all of you who contributed to make the show a successful one, especially Honorable Nyonkwe, who really came to educate, and I admire his speech and what all he said tonight. So That's all. Thank you very much. And I pray that I'll be available because much of the time, whenever we are out on the radio, especially breaking a program on the radio, more people answer. And then thank God that we are back and the people are hearing us tonight. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful show. You guys have a good night, and I look forward to see you guys here tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.